Hello, everyone, and welcome to Think Outside the Blocks. I am your host, one of your hosts, Mark Larson. Welcome to the weekly Brickworld official live stream where we talk to you about thinking outside of the perceived rigid Lego medium and thinking outside your mental blocks as well. And here is your co-host, Mr. Ben Hauger. How are you doing this week, Ben?
I'm doing just fine. I'm dealing with a bit of a hangover, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Yeah, you know me. I actually don't
Drink.
drink, but I have a bad September hangover.
I bet.
It was very liberating this weekend to not have to build a ship.
I bet. For the
I
first
loved it,
30
but
days.
still, it was a lot.
Less than 30 days. You had a little bit of a hiccup, and
You know,
then while you were trying to take all your photographs, you had another plumbing problem.
I know. What can you do? I
I
still
don't,
haven't.
man.
I've isolated which thing is leaking. Luckily, it's a tub, not a not a
Luckily.
not a toilet. But I have to cut a hole in the ceiling
Yeah.
probably tomorrow to figure that out. So
At least it's not poop water. And
yeah,
judging by the way we've been talking so far, you'd think this was brought to you by the letter P again, but we're not. Brought to you by the letter A this week. And we have Fabulon Bakery has changed its name to Realgar, Realgar. I don't know. But the SS Fabulon Bakery doing business as SS Realgar tonight. He's making port at Brickworld City tonight. He said, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much, Realgar. I guess I have to switch what I'm calling you because it's so much easier for me to call you Fabulon Bakery because we've gotten used to it. But that's all right. We can change names. We can be whoever we want to be, right? Like and subscribe. Yes, absolutely. As Darth Realgar says, please smash the mega blocks out of that like button. And if you're not already subscribing, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button as well. As we always say on this live stream, hitting buttons is fun. Do it. Do it now.
and we just got a Facebook like. I
Oh,
would not be surprised if that was Gary, but who knows? Could have been someone else. Let me check. Actually, I can find out.
yeah,
It
possibly.
wasn't Kevin Kohler giving us a thumbs up.
Oh, Kevin Kohler from NALTC. Hey, he's only about 45 minutes away from me. I can just take a quick break, drive over to him, and thank him for that. Dee's Bricks is in the house. He says, hey, greetings, everyone. He didn't say hey. I don't know where I saw hey, but my near vision.
You probably saw hey here. Jesse's Brick Galaxy giving us a double hey. Hey Jesse.
I don't know that I saw it because I need these now so I can see things more clearly. Yeah. But
But
I'm not.
we don't want to skip my biggest fan, Lego Team B. Good day from
Right.
us to all.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. What time is it there? We do this to you every week. It's going to be
It's
the same
early.
week.
It's early. It's like 10 a.m. I want to guess. If I
Whoa.
remember from Crystal,
Right.
10 a.m. ish.
I know that she's joined us several times for meetings where it's like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Kevin Kohler, yes, thank you for being here, my good friend. Haven't heard from you in a while, and I'd like to. I understand the big NALTC show that happens every holiday season is not happening this year, so I've had some proposals regarding doing a holiday show here in the Midwest, and looking forward to talking to people about that. Probably 2024, not probably this holiday season. Monica Berry, of course, is here. Super Hawk Bricks is here. Hello to you as well. And Darth Realgar is saying hey to all of his friends. And we're happy to have everybody here. Jesse, how have you been, my friend? 11 a.m.
Yes. I was
And
close.
one. They clicked in on top of each other. Jesse, it's building the Viking Village set. Yeah, you got to throw some football players in there to make it a Minnesota Viking set. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on Reed's live stream, and I miss seeing Jesse every week. Yeah, it would be cool, Kevin, and we'll figure it out probably for next year. We've got some time. Joel and Child, of course, is in the house. I'm going to see her in about 4 days from now. Holiday show right up her alley. Yeah, if you can drive up to say somewhere around. I was going to say Tinley Park, but I found that there's a competitive. One of our competitors operates in Tinley Park annually now. Used to that competitor doing every 3 years, but apparently they're sticking around, doing annual shows now, just like Brickworld. It's a good business model, fun to copy. but we'll find a place to do it. D says, fancy seeing you here too, Superhawk, because they're like peas in the pod. They come as a package pretty much as far as we're concerned for Brickworld shows. They did Brickworld Grand Rapids. They're going to do Brickworld Fort Wayne this coming week. If you're in the Fort Wayne area, you didn't know that we did a Brickworld show. Hello. What's the name of my company? A
Two in
Brickworld show in
Indiana.
Fort Wayne. Hey,
2 shows in Indiana.
it's coming up. You know, they used to do 3 shows before I
Wow.
knew that. They used to do Lafayette as well. And a blizzard killed their spirit for that.
I gotta
Um,
still gotta get you to Minnesota. It's gonna happen one of these days.
it's gonna happen as we talked about for a good 30 minutes last week, we say Minnesota, even though the word is Minnesota. I
Mhm.
I was listening to that tonight actually before tonight's live stream, and I was like, I wished I would have shut up about how we don't pronounce the T in important. Um, I it for a
Important.
while.
Important.
Don't get me there. Don't get me started again because that's not how you say it. But yeah, as you see, my title this week is I'm no longer a grammar jerk. We'll see if I can actually stick to that. It
Awesome.
is a hard habit to break, but I do understand that being a bit combative with the tainted, and that's not necessary. Brick Orphanage is back. He says howdy. D's I missed a couple comments here. D says the more shows the better. Let's bring it in 2024. Whew, yeah. Okay. That's a thought to wrap my mind around. But yeah, the more shows, the better. I agree. But we want quality over quantity. So we want to make sure that we're doing those right. Love this. One of Us. One of Us. Yes. The movie Freaks from, you know, not recent memory, but a great movie and a terrifying movie. The biggest ball of twine is in Minnesota. Well, that's Minnesota, and he spelled it phonetically.
With a D. Yes,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you,
right.
sir.
That's more reason to go to Minnesota, is that the biggest ball of twine is there. Hey, Ben, you got to run a show for us this week. You want to tell them what letter this episode is brought to you by?
It's not just a letter, it's a whole word because this week's run of show, we've got animals.
Mm,
Animals, 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 and more animals. We are
okay.
talking animals today.
All right. That'll be hard to keep track of, but
Mhm.
I think we
I
have a
think we
plan.
can do it.
I think we can. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's just jump right in and talk about this.
Whoosh. Whew. We're just going straight for it. Here it is.
Straightforward. This is the meat. People are here for the meat, right? So
Yep.
here's our first animals topic. It is Animal Crossing. Yeah. Anybody excited about this? I am. I'm very excited about this. And what are your thoughts on this, Ben? You have a vague connection. Well, I'm sorry, you have a vague idea of what the most recent game is. Had you ever played it before this most recent title?
I haven't played it really at all. My kids and my wife all play. So I've seen the little characters. I've also seen them in the various. I think the villager or somebody shows up in Super Smash Brothers or whatever.
Isabel does. Yep.
Um, so there's so there are some vague sort of connections that I have, but for the most part, I don't have a lot of ties to Animal Crossing. Though you know,
Mm-hmm.
I, I know I know that you will have a definite opinion about this, as will my wife. But even the little teaser image, um,
Yeah.
really intriguing here.
There's a lot of intriguing things about this actually, and let's go back to this. Supa says, "Animals to the rescue." Um, Monica Berry's screaming hype. Um, Superhawk says new Fabuland characters. We'll get to that in a bit because I got a lot of texts this week from people who are like, "Did you see the Animal Crossing news? It's like the new Fabuland," and I've got opinions about that. Um,
No.
Fabuland, yeah, I can't even help myself. Realgar says people were screaming. Yeah, the quite all over. the nerd universe, let's call it, because not only Lego fans, but Nintendo fans because there are Nintendo fans who don't necessarily play Animal Crossing, but they like the Nintendo brand and they recognize Animal Crossing. And of course, the Animal Crossing community is like, does this mean we're getting a new game? Is that what it means? They're excited about the sets, they're excited about the characters, they're excited more about the crossover and that it's being promoted through another brand. Because I have my finger on the pulse of the Animal Crossing community now because I have just geeked out that much about it. Super says Animal Crossing. She's so excited. Me too, my friend. We will talk about that in just 4 days. No, well, actually, I won't see you for 6 days. I'll be there in 4 days. You will be there in 6. D says, I've never played Animal Crossing. Is it like the old school Frogger? Yes, that's exactly what it's like. Frogger. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. That's what I hum during the drawings for the raffle, the set giveaways during opening closing ceremonies. When the raffle dial is taking too long, I hum the Frogger theme. Nobody called it this year. I said, who can name that tune? Nobody said Frogger, probably because half the room could not hear me because of bad audio. We're working on that. So let's just take a look at this. Who are we getting? So we're getting Tom Nook, we're getting Isabel, we're getting Cap'n. Those are our NPCs. So they're non-playable characters. You cannot play as them. They are people that you interact with. And to the surprise of some people in the Animal Crossing community who don't necessarily understand Lego, they were surprised to see villagers. They thought they'd only see NPCs. So we have Julian, we have Fauna. These aren't my favorite characters. So I actually, it's not Fauna. Maybe it's Deirdre. All right, I have to look this up. Let's see, Animal Crossing Lego. We have Marshall. That's the squirrel to the left of the turtle. It's one of people's favorite characters. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't like the smug characters very much at all. But he's one of the more popular characters. We have a cat named, is it Mary? Hold on, give me a second, guys. It is Rosie. The cat's name is Rosie. The that cat mold, I think, is going to be Bob. I think it's going to be Rover. I think it's going to be Raymond, because these are hugely popular villager characters in the Animal Crossing brand. The bunny we have, her name is Bunny. I'm not very familiar with that character. It might actually be his name. The deer's name is Fauna. That's Fauna, not Deirdre. Sorry. So that's Fauna. And what's interesting about Fauna is she's wearing a shirt from an older title. What's also interesting about Isabel is she's wearing her new Leaf shirt, which isn't the one in the most recent title. It's not her outfit in the most recent Animal Crossing title. So that's something that the Animal Crossing community is geeked out about because they think that the Lego line is going to be more about the entire Animal Crossing universe, not just New Horizons. Julian is one of Flynn's favorites. Monica, tell me who Flynn is, please. Actually, Ben, do you know, since Monica's your best friend?
No, I don't.
She was right. It was Deirdre. Oh, wait, no. It's Fauna. I thought so too. Yeah,
Anna.
it's Fauna. No Dodo. I know, right? So I think, tell me, let's just jump into this right now. I was going to work my way up to this, but like, there's not a dodo, there's not an elephant, there's not a rhino, there's not the cat. Well, the cat is there. I'm sorry. there's no hamsters, there's no bighorn sheep. Do we think there's going to be a CMF series for this? I
Possible.
think there is. The green one looks like an offspring of the Hulk while I was on vacation in Hawaii. So all the turtles are NPCs. And there's several of them. We have Tortimer is probably one of the most popular. He's like the former mayor of wherever you are living, and they have a huge family, and so there's lots of turtle characters. I thought the Owl Brothers. I'm sorry. I thought the Owl Blathers would have been one of the revealed, and also, God, what is her name? Celeste, his sister Celeste, who does all this, the star, all the astrology stuff for the game. So you can wish on a shooting star. The green thing is a turtle, correct? And I do believe he has a turtle backpack on. Um, yeah, you have to play the game, man. I'm sorry. I do hope we see Celeste. I do hope we see Blathers. I would imagine one of the sets is going to be the museum because there's so many possibilities with it. And his sister Celeste also has an astronomy tower in some titles in the museum. Lego Team B says, serious question. These figs look great. Where would you send a middle-aged man who has no idea who or what Animal Crossing is to get a crash course? All right, let me, I had to restart my entire computer, but let me give you a crash course in my crash course, which Ben, give me a second. Share your opinion
Sure.
on this because I'm having trouble getting quick time. There we go. There it is. But I still need your help.
Sure. Well, okay, so for a non-Animal Crossing player,
Hmm.
lots of things I notice on this picture alone, right?
Hmm.
We've got different sized legs, um,
Yes.
different heights of all these characters. We have a lot of personality in the faces.
Hmm.
Some of them, the squirrel looks kind of shifty, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. That might not be true.
Well, they all
We
have different personalities. So he's a smug character. So he looks
aha,
me because he's smug.
aha. And I also see the brick built trees in the background. I know trees are a big thing in Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Um, I'm a,
So
I'm aware that you shake them and cut them and do all kinds of things with them.
they have fruits that come out of them. We can see in this picture that they have apples, cherries, and oranges, which is only what is that? 3/7 of the fruits that you can get in the current version. There were more in previous versions, but we're missing pears, we're missing coconuts, we're missing somebody help me, peaches, and we're missing one more. I can't think of the fourth that we're
Don't
missing.
don't they have
However,
the money tree, that the bells?
it's
Is
a
that what
money
they are?
tree, the bells, exactly.
Yeah, the bells
They have
tree.
that as well. So I'm a little disappointed with the trees that we see in this teaser image, which is a screen cap, by the way, from a video which we'll show you in a bit. There, I know that the Animal Crossing community was impressed with uh, how much we're getting because there's also a certain number of flowers that you can plant on the island, and we didn't get any new flower molds that I can see yet. But there's tulips, there's hyacinths, there's mums, there's windflowers, there's roses. There's more than that that I can't think of at the moment. Um, but we just see the regular Lego flower molds, and that's kind of where I thought this would go with some more foliage for us, and it doesn't look like we're getting that. These what do you one two, they're two-dimensional, one-dimensional. Dear Lord, like they replace the trees with strings for the sets. Two-dimensional trees. I thought we would get something more three-dimensional. I thought we get something a little bit more interesting. Maybe if this takes off well, um, we'll see something more like that, like a UCS Animal Crossing tree or something like that, or something like the botanicals, because it's so foliage based. But the game is a life simulation game. So there's really no end to it. There's really no plot necessarily. Um, Let me take you through my experience with it and how I got so involved in it. This is about a 5-minute video. We've got the comments pouring in here. Ben, do you want to hit a couple of these before I go ahead with this video?
Sure. There's some suggestions on where you might find out about Animal Crossing if you're interested. YouTube.
It's a great place. I've got some good Animal Crossing people I follow. I can recommend, but that'll be later in the or later after I play my video. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, streamers playing the game.
Yep, there's definitely a
Um,
lot of that.
there's
And
probably a lot of talking.
yep,
As Mark mentioned, it's sort of a simulation for real world. From what I know about the game, which isn't a lot, you have an island. You might name it Buttland or something like that, right? If
you
you're
might.
Mark,
Oops. What do you know? You might.
and then you're stuck with it. I know you plant trees. I know you take out loans to buy bigger houses. You can unlock things like a coffee shop and a museum. You
It's
can
like
catch things. You can explore your island and
having
expand your island and all kinds of fun stuff.
having played it and having it poorly explained to me. I would say it's a life simulation game that also gives you a lot of opportunity to design and also gives you a lot of opportunity to build a community. So I think part of it for me during the pandemic was it was kind of escapism, where I was like, "Hey, I don't feel like going out into the real world, nor can I really." Even though I lived in a place where we had a rooftop deck that became like a neighborhood bar, could see people whenever I wanted to. There was sort of a comfort in like just building an escapist world. And anybody who plays life simulation knows that sort of aspect of it, but this gives you a lot more opportunity to design quickly, because say that you like the life simulation game The Sims, it's a little bit easier and a little bit more cookie cutter in Animal Crossing to kind of like make your world. It hasn't always been an island. So this is the most recent version that Ben's talking about with New Horizons, which is an island. But the previous ones were a city or like a forest, like a campground is available on your iPad or iPhone, maybe Android. I don't know.
An entire world, not just New Horizons. Then there's a significant amount of talk about how the apples are hung from the tree. I'm pretty
I
sure.
wonder about that too.
Well, I'm pretty sure it is just one of the clips with the bar end. I think you can see kind of a dark red bit surrounding the apples there.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. So how are the apples sitting sideways? How are they
Yep.
attached? Someone does suggest what I think it is: clip bar in the hole. I think it's dark red for the apple. And the oranges are just attached.
I
Yep.
see what you mean now. Yes.
Yep. Though there's a suggestion that perhaps it's held in by magic
Yeah.
or maybe Photoshop, but
Yeah,
I think it's this one.
I do too. However, since it is just a preview video, I'm hoping that we'll get more sophisticated trees somehow. But they only like the first wave is only 5 sets. So I think they're testing the market right now, but I think people are geeked out enough that I'm hoping this is just the first wave.
Yeah, so that's most of our comments. We're back to Nintendo tips from Mark. I think are you ready for the video? I can hide the
Yep.
preview here. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm still a StreamYard noob. You know it so much better than I do. Here we go. I think it should mute us as I play this. Whatever. Who knows? I don't know how this works. Come on, you go. Love the song. Hello and welcome to Brick World Crossing. We've been following rumors since August that LEGO would be partnering with Nintendo on an Animal Crossing line of sets and minifigures. We found out this week that it's no rumor, it's true. We got our first glimpse of the Animal Crossing figures in a little teaser video. Now, my favorite LEGO theme to build in is Fabuland. If you don't know, it's a line of LEGO toys that was produced in the 80s, where the figures had molded animal heads. For whatever reason, my LEGO spirit joined itself with this world and has stayed there ever since. I've been doing Fabuland creations and layouts since the early days of Brick World. Brick World started in 2007, so many public attendees and quite a few AFOLs were unaware of Fabuland. I would have people ask me, are they Legos or are these Mega Blocks? But it wasn't until 2010 that someone asked me if my display was Animal Crossing. I had no idea what that was, but the questions persisted over time. The game was described to me as a game where you shook trees to get fruit and you could sell it and like make friends with animal people. I decided Animal Crossing was my creative nemesis and gave a little side eye to anybody who would ask me if my Fabuland display was Animal Crossing, even going as far as to create posters that explained what Fabuland was so I wouldn't even have to hear the term Animal Crossing. Fast forward to 2020. I had bought myself a Switch in 2019 to play Mario Kart with my niece and nephew. So when the COVID-19 pandemic caused a public lockdown, the recommendations that I play the new Animal Crossing game, New Horizons, came in fast and furious. No, thank you. I had just purchased Brick World from the previous owners, and the inability to actually do in-person shows was not going to stop me from working on the business. I spent 2020 doing what I could to keep the business going with live streams and virtual shows and the beginning of this YouTube channel. When 2021 rolled around and it was Groundhog's Day for rescheduling shows and not being able to sell tickets, I broke down and turned on Animal Crossing. And then I played it for 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes more, for over a year. Now, when I first started playing, I didn't think I would play for more than a day, and wasn't really paying attention to Timmy and Tommy's warning that I could not rename my island. So when it came time to choose a name, I was like, I don't know, Buttland. And now I'm Buttland forever because I refuse to restart just to change my name when I have 10 great animal friends who I live on an island with, plus all the work and dedication I've put into designing my island, custom pathways, custom clothing, collecting feathers and cherry blossoms, saving up my Nook miles to find dreamies. I survived Hippo. Hippo. Look at him, standing there with his everything awful. What is that? I became so obsessed that I even bought a second Switch in order to have a second island, which I named Bro Key and invited 10 cranky jock types to come bro out with me. I don't know why I needed this at the time, but hey, you can be whoever you want in Animal Crossing, so here we are. Two of my greatest passions are coming together. According to many sources, but let's pick just two good, March 2024, we'll be getting 5 Animal Crossing sets in what will hopefully be the first wave. Now let's connect some threads here. The Animal Crossing community is also geeking out about the potential for a new Animal Crossing title to be released around the same time. Could LEGO's partnership with Nintendo on Animal Crossing be another sign that we'll be getting a new title? While the beginning of the pandemic was the perfect time to release an adorable life simulation game with millions of people purchasing the game, making it the second best-selling Nintendo game, the pandemic also slowed the rollout of promised updates. While the enormous 2.0 update in late 2021 was a welcome surprise, Nintendo stopped updating the game, making many longtime Animal Crossing fans upset that their favorite parts from past games hadn't been added to New Horizons. According to Crossing Channel, there are many sources confirming that Nintendo will release a new gaming system in the second half of 2024. Is the timing of the new Nintendo console and the Animal Crossing Lego line a sign that Animal Crossing fans will see a new Animal Crossing title next year? Only time will tell, as Nintendo holds its release news close to the chest, often making surprise announcements right before a game is fully developed and ready for release. However, in the meantime, we'll have some fun covering the new Lego line and from time to time touring my islands to show you how I used Animal Crossing to channel my creative energy during the part of the pandemic where I just couldn't motivate myself to get my hands on Lego bricks. You can also check out our live stream, Think Outside the Blocks, where I often share my fabulous creations, which have been reinvigorated and just recently inspired by the Animal Crossing world.
He said our name.
Thank you for joining me, and remember, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Okay, hold on. One thing I want to go over real quick before we talk about anything else. If we were going to do a stop motion video to announce Animal Crossing Y, which by the way, anybody who's played the game knows that this is the gift that like flash through the sky and you've got to hit the balloon with a slingshot to get the gift to fall. I'm a little disappointed in the design of it, as I am with the trees, that it's not like it doesn't look more like the actual gift that would fall from the balloon. Why is there schmutz? Why is there schmutz on the brick? Why didn't you clean your bricks?
I don't know.
Before you took ew, what happened to your brick? And how could you
tiny little triangle in there? I don't know what that is.
Right? I don't know either. It's not part of the game. It's not like that's a sticker or a print. It's like that brick is dirty. Like, how'd you get your entire studio going? Which at first I was like, maybe they did this 3D simulated, but they did not. They did not, because they have dirty bricks in this video. Anyway, that's a very small complaint about this. But hopefully that answers some of the questions about what is it. It took me a long time to get into it. I hated it. I was yeah. Who knows what's in that present? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Something's oozing over the edge.
And I saw because I think that you're the closest thing I have to an authority on this, as both a lover of Animal Crossing and Fabuland. Yeah. I saw a lot of comments on the announcement video of Fabuland 2 !
No, I'm sorry. No, because let's do this again. I will say one thing. I do love it, and it is inspiring to me to build Fabuland stuff, but I do have a separation, and we'll talk about what I've been building. It's the orchard. I have the orchard back up on the table. And a lot of it is inspired by what I was trying to do in Animal Crossing, because what was fun about that for me,
To be honest, I've regretted the amount of time that I spent playing Animal Crossing during the pandemic because I could have been building bricks, but been building with bricks, been building actual MOCs and like building this fabulous dream village that I want so badly to bring to shows. But I would say this is going to be a little like over dramatic, but I would say like emotionally and like spiritually, I could not have done anything but what I did in laying on the couch and playing Animal Crossing. So it was still a good creative outlet for me. It got me the sort of the just what it got me the passions of my life without needing to do too much because I didn't have the energy to do a lot at all. And it made me happy. It was escapism. It was kind of like, building a community, which is what the entire mission statement for Brickworld is. But I'm like, as long as I can't like reach these people anymore, because let's be honest, like the virtual shows kind of like we weren't going to be able to do anymore. I mean, I think we had done as much as we could with them without massively changing the structure, which also I didn't have the energy to do. But I could sit there and like build a world like I wanted to. And it was really close to like my favorite theme where it's like you're hanging out with people with animal heads, anthropomorphic characters, right? Um, and so like now when I'm trying to build the Fabuland Village, I have a new sort of inspiration, a new inspiration for I was trying to build an orchard because there's so many different types of trees. And like so that's why I started with the orchard, because like there's so many things I want to do with the Animal Crossing orchard that I built that are just not possible because of the limitations of the game. That I'm like, well, I don't have the limitations in Lego, so it's kind of reinvigorated some of my passion for like being more imaginative with what I build for the Fabuland display, that like my dream Fabuland display. Um, and it is a really time consuming thing, but there also is like a really good sort of like it gets me away from my desk, it gets me away from the basement, it gets me out of work mode and gives me some time to myself. I like it a lot for that reason, but it is, I will say, very Lego related for me because it's so close to the way that I want to build, and because it's so close to like the way I already create. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's I think a tool for inspiration
mhm.
um, for you. It definitely seems to be.
Yeah,
It's gonna be interesting to see how you combine your recent Italy trip with
right.
your passion for Fabuland and with Animal Crossing coming out as sort of Fabuland adjacent.
Yeah.
What that's gonna be like? What sort of mashup you're gonna come up with?
Yeah, I don't necessarily plan to mash them up because, like, let's go ahead and take another look at this. We have a few good comments coming in, but I want to hit this real quick. Like, just to like really nail the difference between
Yeah, they're a
the
different scale. I mean, that's the first thing,
yeah,
right?
and Fabuland figures aren't too much bigger than a regular minifig, but the heads, like if you take a look at the bunny, the second one from the left,
Hmm.
uh, whose name is Bunny. Um,
Genius.
Right? How'd you think of that? I mean, they're very rounded. There's not a lot of features where like the Fabuland figure's head, they're a little bit more three-dimensionally designed, where these are basically like ovals that have some extra bumps on them that are reminiscent of what the animal actually looks like. Interesting enough to me, I would say, um, one of the molds that's going to be the same besides the horse and the bunny and the cat would be Tom Nook, who is the tanuki, the raccoon. There is a raccoon mold, but they just repainted the bear mold. So kind of, we did what we could with Fabuland. What's interesting to me, just jumping back to Animal Crossing fandom, is as they're doing specific villagers instead of just NPCs, they've chosen Julian, which is the only who's the blue unicorn with the space sweatshirt, which is again, these torsos are very good representations of the clothing that's available in the game. Clothing is a huge thing. Clothing items are like a huge aspect of the game. People are always clamoring for more clothing items. I already mentioned that two of the characters have their outfits from previous games as opposed to the New Horizon outfits. You can make your own custom outfits. That's like one of the big things that you can design during the game. It gives you lots of creative outlets in several different ways. Julian is the only unicorn, so if they're going to do other horses, they're not going to be able to reuse that mold. And so that's what one of the things that's making me think that they will be doing a CMF line for this. And I wonder, that's actually what I opened my text to ask you to remind me about tonight. But you were already in the green room and we couldn't hear each other. And so but I was wondering if Lego and Lego and Nintendo are going to partner well enough together that they're going to do a CMF line and put amiibo cards in with the CMFs. If you don't know what an amiibo card is, you can invite people to your island or get them to play Smash Brothers, I think is another one. There's several different Nintendo properties that you can use the amiibo cards for. It's like Lego. What was the? It wasn't Lego Universe. What was that?
It had what was that thing with the portal type dealies?
Portal. Yeah, that thing. So that's kind of like what they were mimicking was like Nintendo's amiibo thing, where you can you get the toy and then you can put it on the console, and so but they changed it to cards for Animal Crossing because there's 300 some odd characters, and so they have a little chip in the card, and you can invite them to your island. If you play the Switch, there's a chip reader in one of the controllers. And so if you want certain animals on your island, you can obtain their card. Sometimes they're more rare, so you get them through eBay or you try to buy them off Amazon secondary sellers. So it'd be really smart for them to do a CMF line where you also got the amiibo. So if you got the CMF and you wanted to invite them to your island, and like I said in there, there's supposed to be a new Nintendo console coming in the second half of 2024. And is this timing of working with Lego part of it? Because it's not branded as New Horizons, which is the most recent Animal Crossing title. But hey, where did those come from?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. Is that a Sonoma thing? How did I do that? I don't know how I did that.
That was weird.
But it's a Sonoma thing. It's because I upgraded to Sonoma. There's a certain number of things I think this is something. Yeah, see?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to know how you did the balloons.
I don't know. I talk with my hands, so that may happen a lot. And it's funny that it was balloons because we're talking about Animal Crossing, and a huge part of the game is the balloons that go up, right?
Yeah.
So where was I? Because that really, really threw me off.
So Lego Dimensions is sort of the
Lego Dimensions, yes. So, but
the version that goes with partnering to do the amiibo.
Amoebas.
Amoeba, the one cell organism.
Right. So we're quite a bit far behind here. Trees are very reminiscent. I believe she means of Fabuland, or they're reminiscent of the game. They are, because they have 3 bulbs, but I just thought they would be more 3-dimensional. So I'm a little disappointed. Everybody, again, these are what the trees are going to look like. I just thought they would have some depth. I'm a little disappointed that they are what they are. And Fabby Fan Milwaukee joined us. Right. Oh, wait. I missed one. Realgar says, once Lego Animal Crossing drops, how will people then respond to your Fabuland MOCs? Oh, it's going to get worse. I mean, it's just going to get worse. I mean, I don't really care at this point because I put up with it for so long. And as Fabby Fan Milwaukee has shown us, old Fabuland heads fit just fine on regular minifig bodies. That's what I thought, Monica Berry. They are, and very much because the apples are even the same way. They have the 3 holes on them. And they had Fabuland apple trees where they just printed apples over those holes. But let's go back to this one. What's he saying? Well, I think it's part of the AC release. Yeah, they probably will. Or they'll be confused that I didn't use Animal Crossing figures in them. And that's fine. I mean, I've learned to have more patience with that over the years. As you can see also by my title tonight, I'm going to have more patience with everyone's grammar as well, because I don't want to be a total D. It was one of my instincts. It was kind of hard to tap down, but now I can see the reason to have a little bit more grace with people and not be a grammar bully. And it like you said, Ben, it's more about communication, about caring about the person and what they're trying to say than how they're saying it. Dodo CMF.
Unless I text you and I use the wrong here, then you're gonna tease me. But I accept this.
I can't imagine you would use the wrong here. I think it was there that we had
It
a
was
problem
it
last
was
week.
here. It was just a quick type, but I fixed it.
Okay,
I
so this
fixed it.
one, so Fabian from Milwaukee says all out war between Fabuland and Animal Crossing Chima 2.0. Well, why not a three-way war? Because, and that's kind of what I was worried that we would see is that they were going to do like a minifig head with a an animal mask over it, which would be all right actually because they do make several different expressions in the game. I do like what they decided to do. It will make it harder to give them different expressions, but they do have their personalities. One of my favorite things about Animal Crossing is like there's 8 different personalities, 4 for men, 4 for women, and one of the female personalities is normal. Normal. Thanks, Animal Crossing. Thanks for explaining to us how bad writing archetypes can go for women if you don't have the right people involved in developing things. Bunny does have characteristic shape to her ears that Fabuland doesn't have. Oh, them's fighting words right there. Fed from Milwaukee, so a collab with all 3 of these factions at an upcoming Brick World. Yes, let's do this, and they don't necessarily have to be at war.
Well, but here's the suggestion. If you wanted to do it, you could do it StarCraft style.
Yeah,
That has 3 warring factions
what my
with different
voice
build
is.
styles.
Yes, I like that. I like that idea a lot. And we can write whatever story we want to write there. Monica Berry said that would probably cost more. And I don't know, unfortunately, what she's referring to because I've lost the thread.
Probably the minifig heads inside of a mask, perhaps.
I don't.
Maybe not though. No, I think it's the amoeba comment, probably.
Oh, the amiibos, yeah.
Amiibo, the amoeba,
Yes,
amiibo.
yes, I think they would amoebas. We don't want Lego sending us amoebas. Like they're all
Especially not the ones
Enfolieri.
that burrow into your brain and
Enfolieri, yeah. We don't want
yeah.
that one. We don't want that, but they only survive in fresh water, so they'd have to put some water in there. But it goes back to this. The Dodo CMF does work for me as well. There's enough characters. Like I said, there's over 300 characters. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, just because they've done it so much for CMFs already with like the different molds that they're making. I thought, yeah, Ben called it. Sorry to make you guys reiterate the conversation you're already trying to have. Yes, it was that. Let's see. I don't know what he's referring to when he says the F.
I don't know either.
Let's just like click through these.
We need an amoeba.
We definitely, yeah, we're hitting them at the same time. Oh God, sorry, we already did that one. Trees look like the trees from Lego Basics. Oh my God, thank you for being like basically, I think around the same age I am. Lego Basics really screwed me up. I was just like, why replace Fabuland? Remember when they had Fabuland with human heads? Anybody remember this from Lego Basic? I've got a bunch of them.
Sounds terrifying.
It is terrifying. I'll look it up so I can show you all that it existed. Dare I say Nintendo copied Lego? It's so reminiscent. Sure. I don't know that that's true. I know the entire story is like I can't remember the guy's name who developed the game, but he got his dream job of working for Nintendo. He didn't move far away from his family, so he developed the idea of the game because he wanted to create like an escapist sort of space to like pretend like he was building a family. Isn't that sweet? Sorry, I think that's really cute. That's what it feels like when you play it, especially if you're going through a trauma at the time. God damn it. Oh, sorry. Pardon my language. Why do I keep hitting that same message? Monica Berry just typing it over and over again. My mind, they need to be at war. Yeah, well, we can discuss. We'll have a production meeting. Don't stick those pieces up your nose if you want to avoid amoebas. I kind of like part of me expected the Animal Crossing thing to have kind of the QR codes, like the what's it called? The Super Mario line has. Monica Berry, and I'm kind of well, we don't know that it doesn't yet, but I'm kind of glad that it doesn't. It's more focused on like the world building part of it.
You know what I think we need?
Hmm.
An amoeba amiibo.
Yeah, well, because this isn't like Italian, Spanish. I don't know. I don't think that we do.
Why not?
Because I think the amoeba would be too confusing for people. It's not like an inviting sort of like brand thing.
You
So
don't think it looks enough like an animal? It's a single cell organism. Come on.
okay, fine.
Animal Crossing. We got an
Well,
amoeba.
it is just like a simple chip, so it can be compared to it. I'm not going to be able to stop calling them amoebas at this point. Monica Berry says that she guessed NPCs with the building sets and villagers as CMFs. Sure, great. Then let's get a CMF line for definite. And I wonder kind of if they're going to do all Animal Crossing titles, what buildings we will see, because there aren't as many in New Horizons as there were in previous ones. Bricklock is here. Feeling people are going to make their islands in Animal Crossing as MOCs. Yeah, that's kind of the easiest way to go. And that's what I'm trying to avoid with what I'm doing, which you guys can kind of see over here behind me. We'll get to that in a little bit. Ben, before we
So
get to that,
no Buttland mock.
Buttland mock. That's right. I think we showed in the week that I came back from Italy that I went and got to take a picture with the statue of David from the butt side. As one of the highlights of my life was going to take a different.
I was not confused at all when you sent me that picture.
You know what I know, right? See, thank you for knowing me so well. What I should have done is like gotten on the ground and got a picture with David's taint.
Okay, I'm gonna put Mark on mute. He's done for tonight.
But I really should have to honor the tainted, right?
Maybe we should
We
have.
love our
Maybe.
chat, right? No, I definitely should have.
Context is important for that one.
Buttland mock. I mean, that's basically what's happening. Context is important. How many people just tuned in?
They probably came in right when you said that. Yes, it always happens.
David's taint. It was probably like they jumped in and I was like, David's taint. And that happens sometimes. I'm sure Matt was like, what? The dog is dead asleep. All right. So we'll get to animal trauma stories next. Perhaps we've completely tapped the Animal Crossing news well at this point. We have been at it for 45 minutes. I do have to use the bathroom before we move on to animals, my animals.
Animals number 2.
I don't know.
Sure, you can do that, and I'm going to tell some animal stories.
I would say one thing that you could do in the meantime too is I took our sponsorship thing from this week and I put it in the brand tab in the new video for the BAM fundraiser. So if you want to play that, give yourself a little rest as well. You can't. That's just one option. You talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to come back to tell these trauma stories. I can play the BAM fundraiser video. It's 2 minutes though, so you better get going.
All right, cool. So I'm going to use the bathroom, and then I'm also going to grab myself another Zevia because this one's almost out.
All right, here we go.
1 minute. Bye.
Hey, Brickworld family. A couple of weeks ago, we had our first Brickworld show in Grand Rapids. We would like to thank everyone involved in the show for making it a great success, but we'd specifically like to thank one of our signature sponsors, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids. Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids had a signature sponsor booth at the entrance to the event hall and did an amazing job greeting all of our guests with positive energy. If you're in the Grand Rapids area and didn't know you had a local Bricks and Minifigs store, I'd say go check them out, but unfortunately, it's not currently possible. In the early morning hours, just after midnight on the first day of Brickworld Grand Rapids, let's call it what it is, a kidnapper van drove through the front window of their brick and mortar store. Look at that. Look, watch this. Okay, this is the moment before the kidnapper van hits their product. Then bam, no pun intended, product is okay, product is smashed. Store is okay. Store is smashed. It's horrifying. Fortunately, it didn't happen during business hours, so there were no employees on the sales floor at the time. So, Brickworld community, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids can use our help. We've posted a link to a GoFundMe page in the description of this video. We've also posted their Instagram feed so you can follow them and check out some of their in-person and online events. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, they're planning some pop-up store events and even a LEGO fan community event with one of our other sponsors, Archival Brewing. I know the Brickworld community has a very giving nature, so if you are able, please help out our friends at Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids in their time of need. They're a new business, operating less than a year at this point, and I know they have the mindset to get through this. They still work Brickworld Grand Rapids all weekend, despite the accident at their store, and they'll be back in business in no time, I'm sure. However, the more we can do for them together, the faster that will happen.
Okay, well, That was intense. I heard a little bit about the accident, but I didn't know any of the details. But just watching the video is quite shocking. I'm sure Mark, he's back here. Let me add you back in, Mark.
Yeah, they actually did have one of their employees in the back room when that happened. He was the first to call the police because he didn't know what was going on. And so he called the police to say, like, someone broke into the, like, he had no idea what was happening. And like, can you open the door to the storeroom and tell us what's going on? And he was like, no, I will not do. Get your butts over here. You tell me what's going on. Yeah, it was nuts. Well, and what was great about Julia, and I believe it was her store manager who was with her. They showed up at Brickworld Grand Rapids at like 8 in the morning to set up for the show, but they hadn't been to sleep yet because a kidnapper van drove through their store. So they were like, and they were slap happy. Like they were treating it with like a sense of humor. Like great, what a great group of people. Like I just wish the best for them because like they were great partners. They were great to partner with on sponsorship, but just going through that and then just still having like maybe not a positive attitude, but at least having a sense of humor about it. But obviously, since then, if they didn't have a positive attitude ready that day, their staff stayed and worked the entire weekend. They were back in the evening, they were back the next morning, and they've definitely led with a positive attitude. And I'm not saying they didn't have a positive attitude. I'm just like not sure exactly where their attitude was. I know that they were like laughing about things, but like they're moving forward and saying what's in our control. A van driving through our front window is not in our control. So what is in our control? So they're doing pop-up stores. They're doing Lego fan events with archival brewing. They're doing Facebook sales. They're doing whatever they can to just like keep it going. And I really hope that if anybody has the means to do so, that you support them through this ridiculousness. Like, and like I imagine they're probably going to have an insurance claim. Hopefully BAM corporate will be helping them out, but there's just going to be all sorts of things that are just like missing from that, let alone the revenue they could have made in the time. So it's like maybe they'll get everything repaired, but they're going to be missing months of possible revenue from a successful store with a new start. Like they were, I think they were only in business for like 7 or 8 months. If EcoBuns or D's Bricks is on, remind me, how long had they been in business before a kidnapper van drove through their front window? And apparently it's like a problem with the strip mall that they're in, because it's the third time that someone's driven through the front window of one of the storefronts in this particular strip mall. It's like, well, get some, what are those balustrades built on the outside of the parking lot, or at least build a berm, like put in some arborvitae. Like slow these things down if this is a common thing. Yeah, but absolutely
Crazy.
terrifying, especially to watch it. You know, and definitely I played with like the slow motion and like reversing and forwarding, because I just like it is that train wreck sort of feel where you're like, I have the capability, so let's play with it. But also at the same time, it's just like made me shake, because like I just can't imagine all the stuff that bollards. They're called bollards, apparently.
Yeah, we got a pair of blokes giving us the bollards.
Blokes. Blokes and bollards. We'll do letter B next week, because this week's letter is animals. But yeah, you have animal stories for this week, or is it just me?
Yeah, no, I do.
Oh,
so you can see my name before I go anywhere. I'm not even going to comment on that, but thank you. Okay, so
that when I'm drinking. So
yeah,
I think that's probably like they're probably just being safe for like legal and like liability reasons. The driver is in the footage and ran off, hit and run. And apparently when they showed the I don't want to say too much, but like the police are on it. Let's say that.
Yeah, and
it wasn't on purpose. Jim Marin is here, and he just donated to Bricks and Minifigs GoFundMe. See you at Fort Wayne as well, my friend. Thank you for doing that.
Right. So my name my name today, Animal Tolerator. I don't know that that's necessarily fair. I don't have anything against animals, but I don't have any animals presently. However, I do contend that animals have something against me. And I'm going to demonstrate this via 2 stories. The first one, when I was in high school, my sister was trying to decide what to do with her life. And the thing she wanted to do more than anything was open a dance studio. And so my parents bought a church that was no longer in use because the sanctuary was big and had hardwood floors under it.
Someone
And they
drove through
thought
the window. Sorry. Go ahead.
they didn't, but we thought we could convert it into a dance studio. And so we worked pretty hard at building this dance studio. And my dad sent me home to pick up a ladder. And the reason we needed this ladder is because we were going to hang a giant sign over a block window that was in front of the church that made a cross.
Yeah.
You didn't really want, the whole church vibe. It was already bad enough that it used to be a church, but we wanted to cover up the cross and put up a lovely ballerina with I think it was a treble clef or something behind her.
A trouble class.
So
Nice.
so my dad sends me home, and I get home, park the car, I go in and reach down to pick up the ladder, and something slaps me right across the face. And I look down, and when I look down, standing on top of a bicycle, right where the ladder is, was this.
What?
An iguana.
What
I'm
state were you in?
I live in Minnesota.
Right.
Minnesota.
What was it doing there?
Slapped me right in my face.
They're slappy. I was like, honestly, when you said something slapped you, and we knew it was an animal not liking you story, or a bad incident with an animal story. I thought you were gonna say, I'm like, was there a platypus, like a beaver, like what she slept with?
An iguana slapped me right across my face.
Yeah, they're
And-
mean.
And I dropped the ladder because, I was surprised. I dropped the ladder. I ran out of the garage. I said some choice words. And I was like, why is there an iguana in my garage? Right?
Anywhere.
I'm in Minnesota.
Right.
There's no iguanas here, and at least not
I
any
know.
native ones.
Right.
Right? You would think this is a story, as Monica says, right? Right? Sounds like a Florida man incident, right? This is a story of a Florida man. But
That's
no,
what we need. That's what we need a CMF series of. Florida man.
the Florida man. In the
Gotta
Minnesota,
look out for Minnesota lizards. They're extra hardy.
they're very hardy. Yes. Yeah. So I dropped it and I went inside and I told my mom. I said, "Mom, I just got attacked by an iguana in the garage." And she didn't believe me at all. She thought I was exaggerating and that there was like a salamander in the garage. We used to get salamanders in our window well. So she
But-
thought like I saw a salamander. I'm like, no,
People.
it's literally like a 4-foot long iguana or 3-foot long iguana, whatever an iguana is in size, sitting on top of a bicycle in our garage. So it turns out that the people we shared a backyard with had a pet iguana, and they just let it roam the house. It didn't have a cage.
True.
That might be true. Didn't have a cage. They just let it wander the house, and it got out, came over to the garage, probably looking for, some place to sun itself. I don't know, but it went into the garage, climbed up on the bike, and when I reached for that ladder,
Yeah, we'll never know what it was thinking.
no.
No.
But seriously,
It-
I got attacked by an iguana. Who else do you know who can say that? Attacked
Right.
by an iguana in Minnesota.
Yeah, and honestly, like of all places for it to like go and burrow or like go like I'm out of the house. I'm out of the yard. Let's go lay down on a bicycle. Doesn't sound like I don't care what sort of animal you are. I don't think it's the most comfortable place to just kind of like nest under or
Right.
like curl up under.
So we did have the guys come and reclaim their iguana.
Well, that's good.
They're like, we're not sure how we got out. I'm like, well, you might want to find out, because if he can get out, other stuff can probably get in. I don't know.
Well, think about it, because
Like 2-3 weeks later, the neighbor next to me came out and said, "Hey, do you guys know anyone who has an iguana? We have one trapped in the garage." And I'm like, "Actually, yes, I know whose iguana that is."
the iguana was a bicycle thief, obviously.
Could have been the driver at the Bricks and Minifigs store
Might have been.
situation. Who knows? But an iguana slapped me across the face.
Yeah. Just to update you, like from the basics of what's understood about what happened with Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids is that it was a driver asleep at the wheel. Like, so
So
nothing too nefarious, but also just still
wasn't the
very
smash
aggravating.
and grab, but still an
No, not at
oops.
all. There was no theft involved.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a lot of fear and embarrassment from,
That
well,
makes sense.
yeah, and a lot more fear from the guy who was in the stock room.
Yeah. Some people suggest that the iguana in Minnesota was maybe because climate change is getting real. Perhaps.
At the time.
And Realgar is excited that we have an iguana escape artist.
What are the animals with no shoulder bone? It's any sort of like mouse, any rodent doesn't have shoulder bones, so that anything their head fits through, they can fit through. Not sure about iguanas.
I don't know either. We can bring that picture back up, but just tell me that you want to look down and see this staring at you.
No, I never want to see an iguana. They're mean. Where does Monica Berry live that the locals found a lemur in their garage? That's a great story. That's insane. So I lived in Northwest Indiana for a while, and it's very forested there.
In Illinois.
In Illinois, a lemur. I love when my voice does that crazy thing, but I'm surprised. So that my voice goes like this when I'm surprised. I lived in Northwest Indiana for a short time. And there were all sorts of like reports, like people would call us and be like, "Hey, they saw a mountain lion. Make sure your dog's inside." I'm like, "We're in Northwest Indiana. Nobody saw a mountain lion. What are you talking about?" And driving home one night at like 2 a.m, bobcat in the middle of the street. And I was like, "Oh, there is a wild cat out here."
Not a mountain lion, but
it doesn't not look like one though. Like their faces are pretty like, if it wasn't for the fact that it was running across the road and I didn't see the tail, I'd have been like, "Oh, there's a bobcat out here for some reason." But yeah, there's definitely wild cats in the forests in the Midwest. You hear reports about them all the time. And apparently they're true. Ryan Linsner is here. I don't know. Ryan Linsner, I believe you've joined us before, but it's nice to see you either way. Glad to have me in Illinois. Definitely no mountain lions here, right? But there are wild cats.
there are mountain lions in northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
They do live in forests and foothills.
Yep. There were all sorts of mountain lion warnings in the suburb I lived in San Diego. It's definitely more hilly than Illinois. Illinois is flat as a taint. Sorry.
Mark can't help himself today. I mean, of course, the old mountain lion has many a name. So I don't know which name it went by. Around here, they often are called cougars.
I did miss this one. Realgar said, "Oh, that's just the Milwaukee lion." Cougars?
Cougars, yeah.
Yeah?
Cougars. That's what they typically go by around here. It's a cougar.
There are a lot of cougars in the Midwest.
Different kind of cougar. I think they're more common in Florida with the Florida men.
So we have coyotes in our neighborhood. I live in the city of Chicago. Flat AF, that's right. Oh me.
Oh, Mark.
So here's my animal trauma story from the day.
Yeah.
As you guys have seen, and she's sleeping right behind me right now. I have a puppy. She's a year and a half years old. She's a year and a half old at this point, and we take her to play off leash because she's not too crazy about the dog park anymore. She gets a little.
It's because you stopped wearing your uniform.
No, I still wear the uniform because it still has the same necessity. So the dog park is part of a larger field area, which goes up to the Chicago River. Water Street on Friday nights. Oh, the Milwaukee Lion, is that right? Basically she had Giardia in July, as we talked about here as well.
And that's when we started just like going for a mile run in the park. And she played off leash. She learned recall really well. She learned the boundaries really well. And then when I took her back to the fenced in dog park, which is at the corner of this park, she was like, can we go? Like, I know freedom now. So we play out off leash in the park, and it's surrounded by trees, and the river's right there. And so there's squirrels foraging right now for fall, right? And so she's had quite a lot of opportunity lately to chase squirrels. And she gets really close. And I was expressing to her best friend Cheeto's mother that I don't know what I would do if she caught one. And she was like, I don't think she would know what to do with one. She's like, but I noticed too that the squirrels are really crazy. So I had to put Orion back on leash because Cheeto and her mom were leaving, and she always tries to follow them home. She knows where they live, so she would go with them if I wasn't paying attention. And like not 5 minutes later, Orion was stalking a squirrel. Took her off leash, and the first thing she saw was a squirrel. And I was like, okay, go get the squirrel. Because she's never caught one. I'm just like, it's just fun for her. She's gonna tree it. And the very last second, someone walked off the path with a dog on a leash, but they walked it right towards this squirrel. So behind, Orion was going towards the squirrel, and they wait till the last second. Like, those squirrels are smart asses. They'll chitter at her and be like, like, you're never going to catch me no matter how long I wait to run away from you. But this squirrel turned around, and Orion basically chased it into the mouth of this other dog. And first of all, I was impressed. I was like, I lived in North Virginia and for a while. I had a dog there, a Shepherd Ridgeback mix that killed a lot of animals. And it just happens. They have those instincts, and like, that's just how things go. That's what their instincts are. That's what they do. This woman was shocked half to death that her dog grabbed
a squirrel
and snapped its spine, I think. So like, I was all like, these dogs just met each other and they coordinated to kill this squirrel. And this woman was just screaming, like she was like near hysterics. She was so shocked that her dog would hurt anything. So I was like, whoa. And this woman started screaming. And I was like, whoa, what happened? I thought maybe the squirrel had scratched her dog's eye, or like some other, like maybe the squirrel was foaming or something. And Orion, to her credit, like when the woman started screaming, she just ran to my side and stayed with me. But there were all sorts of dog owners all over the place. Everyone's playing off leash. There's like 8 baseball diamonds. It's a huge field, right? And so like there's dogs running all over the place to see what's going on. And then they see like a squirrel that's like in its death throes. Even the dog that snapped its spine, I think, was like, oh, why is mom screaming? And like left the squirrel alone. So a family came up, who I know pretty well. Their dogs play with Orion all the time. And they were like, can you grab Chewbacca? And Chewbacca's like literally this big. Like, Chewbacca is the smallest little terrier in the world. And Chewbacca loves me, but was like freaking out with bloodlust. And so like it wouldn't go near his parents. And so I was like, Chewbacca. And Orion's just like sitting next to me the entire time. But Chewbacca's owner picked the squirrel up, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I would have at least grabbed a poop bag first to like protect my hand. But they started trying to like check its vitals. And they're like, it still has a heartbeat. And I was like, also, it's not moving, and there's just blood coming from everywhere. I was like, this poor thing needs to be put out of its misery.
Yeah.
But they still had the heartbeat. When I left the dog park, because that was enough intensity for Orion, we were like, let's just go. And the poor woman whose dog did it, and the sweetest dog, right? Like, I drove out of the parking lot for the park, and they were on they had a flatbed, they had a pickup truck, and they had the gate open, and they had the squirrel on the gate, and she was like rubbing its chest. Little squirrel CPR. I was like, I appreciate. It wasn't fun to watch the squirrel in the state that it was in, because at first it was like twitching and stuff like that. But also I was like, there's 900 squirrels in this park, and there's way too many in the city. And this sort of thing just happens. There's coyotes that live on the Chicago River, and you see dead squirrel carcasses in the park all the time. I was like, this thing needs to be put out of its misery. It was a very odd afternoon for animal stuff. So it was kind of like, as much as I was surprised that they
were trying to revive it, watching them carry the squirrel, because I walked with them. That poor thing. I was just like, no, 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 no. Don't try. Don't. I don't think that thing has a central nervous system anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that
Ugh.
and the poor woman who was terrified that her dog had done that. I was like, well, it's not. She was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's not. It's definitely not your fault. It's absolutely not your fault. It's my dog's fault for chasing it into your dog's mouth. But also, what did you think it was gonna do? Like, she obviously had no idea that her dog didn't want to just play with squirrels.
If a squirrel jumped in my mouth, I would be tempted to bite it and break its back as well.
Right.
Just because, what else are you gonna do, right? So yeah, I mean, today we've talked about animals, Animal
Mhm.
Crossing, animals, Mark's animal trauma, me, my animal trauma. Now let's talk about topic 4: animals, 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 animals.
Nice. So, Brick Orphanage wants to see the video. I wasn't that quick. I
Yeah.
mean, Orion was super cute because she was like playing with Chewbacca. And then I know, right? Thanks. Sorry, Realgar. She was playing with Chewbacca, and then suddenly she just pointed. And I was like, oh, there's a squirrel somewhere. And so she was like, and she does like, this is how she stalks squirrels. Like, she's never gonna learn a lot. I'm like, just go. As soon as they turn their back, just like go. I don't know. I honestly don't know that she would know what to do with one. However, at the same time, I know what she would do if she did. She'd kill it. Like, this woman had no idea that her dog was going to do what she did, and I felt really bad for her because she was terrified about what happened.
Yeah. Let's talk Lego animals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if you know this. It's a Lego live stream. We didn't have much for MOCs this week, unless you do want to talk about the orchard at all. But if not,
I've got it right here.
all right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we get to that, I need to ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
What is the best Lego animal? That's it. I just want to know, what to you is the best Lego animal?
I mean, otter.
Well, I thought you'd say otter for sure, but
Yeah.
let's exclude the otter. What is your second favorite animal?
I mean, the Fabuline walrus.
Okay.
Yeah, easily. How about you? Do you have a favorite Lego animal?
I do, and here
so
it
many
is.
now.
I have it here. It's got to be this.
Okay, someone came late to the live stream. Sorry. The original monkey. All right.
Yes.
So, two things real quick. First of all, solo yourself so everyone can really get the glory of this piece. Don't eat it. You're gonna scare your owner that you would actually hurt the monkey. Ryan Linsner wants to know if I have any thoughts on Lego Animal Crossing. I think he missed the first 47 minutes of the live stream.
Yeah.
You want to know
You're
my
gonna have
thoughts?
to go on replay, gang, my friend.
Yeah, but be ready. Be ready for my thoughts because they're long. They're long. They're prolific.
It's not the squirrel. This is
It's
the
not squirrel, right?
It's not the squirrel.
Yeah, I suggest you do that, Ryan Linsner, because if I start over again, there's no stopping me, and nobody wants to hear that again. We can play the video for you again, or you can watch the video on our YouTube channel. I made an entire YouTube video just about Animal Crossing's connection with Lego and my connection with Lego Animal Crossing and Fabuland. So yeah, Ben, I'll do it for you. Let's see.
You gonna solo me? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I did it. Look at me.
Look at you. So the original 1980s, 1990s pirate monkey. Now you might say to yourself, Ben, is nostalgia. You're always a nostalgia hater. Is it just nostalgia that's getting to you? No. This monkey is great because he has 4 movable arms.
True.
So he can hold all kinds of stuff, do all kinds of crazy poses. His tail also was appropriately curled so that he could hold a bar or clip onto a string.
Hang from,
or
yeah.
hang, yeah. He's just got so much personality with that goofy grin and those big ears. And he does have an anti-stud on the bottom. He's just a great little animal, and I love him.
Well, and Ben, there's nothing like, as much as you don't like to see other people's opinions based on nostalgia, it's okay to have the dichotomy of also having your own nostalgia connections to Lego.
It's true. I'm not saying that it's not, but I don't love him just because he's from the 80s or from the 90s or because I loved pirates. I just think that he had so much more personality than you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
get with a modern day creature, because he can have minifig like personalities, and
Yeah.
he's still just a regular old Lego animal.
And you can change the color of those hands to make them different breeds of monkey. Now, Realgar has another nostalgic memory, nostalgic like here with the 1980s green dragon.
Yeah.
It is classic and iconic, and I agree. I do like that as well. I have never gotten rid of any of mine. There's been a lot of different ones over the years. The Stupa does agree that that is an awesome monkey, and it's very well designed and it's system based. Yeah, and it seems like the newer one isn't quite as much like the old Pirates monkey is like a character. It's like one of the other parts of the story which you can't do as much articulation with the current monkey. Pardon me,
Right.
I keep burping on this show.
Look at
Maybe
that.
it's
He
all the
can
CBD I'm drinking.
hold the bar and the tail. And he's just
Oh
I
yeah,
just really like how well designed he is.
Jim Marin. I don't think you guys have been at the show at the same time where he's brought his Harry Potter setup, which is amazing. When he does his castle scene, he always has that monkey on his Black Seas Barracuda. Great place for it. The Huskies are a really good piece as well. I like that they're acknowledging that different
Dual
dog
mold.
breeds exist, and so they're coming out with a bunch of different dog molds, which is great. I love my dogs.
But
Right,
as an animal tolerator,
Monkey Army
what
for
can
the
I
win.
do?
But I mean, if you had an animal, you would love it, right?
Oh yeah. Like I said, we tell my kids all the time that we're gonna get a cat, and we always say after Brick World, but we never say which Brick World. So as soon as Brick World comes and goes, I say, well, yeah, after Brick World.
Yeah, I think Smog counts as an
So
animal, Brick Orphanage. Now, you said you had two
small.
animal stories, and you told us one about the iguana. Did you have another
Yeah.
one?
Well, the other one's about a cat. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So dance studio again. We're back to the dance studio.
Oh dear Lord.
My sister lived in the basement of this dance studio. It was a church, as I mentioned. Had a full kitchen down there, lots of space.
Yeah.
But we converted it to a kind of a one-bedroom apartment. And my sister is an animal lover. She had a whole bunch of animals down in that basement. She had a chinchilla, a giant guinea pig, several cats, a rabbit, I think, all kinds of animals. But she got swept up by a boy, fell in love, got married. And so when she got married, we had to sell the dance studio, and we had to get the animals out. And one of her kittens was a little frisky. And what he liked to do was hide. And because this was a church basement,
Yeah.
part of the ceiling wasn't sealed off because there was a bunch of ductwork that ran through their ductwork.
Mhm.
So this cat had crawled up between the rafters in the ceiling slash floor for the first level, next to one of these big pieces of ductwork, and we had to get him out. And so, how do you get him out when he's 15 feet back under this between these rafters and the ceiling? So we had this genius idea that what we were going to do is take this fire extinguisher, it's a big heavy fire extinguisher, and we were going to tap it on the ceiling behind him to scare him towards the opening.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is sounding like a good idea, isn't it? So we start tapping it on the ceiling. Tap, tap,
Yeah.
tap, and it's working. He's moving, 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 moving. He gets right close to the opening, and I'm tapping with the fire extinguisher, and nothing's happening. I gave it a little harder tap, and all of a sudden, liquid comes pouring down onto my head. And I thought, oh crap, did I open up the fire extinguisher or did I hit a water line? Right? Neither of those things are true. I literally scared the pee out of a cat.
Oh no.
Peed right down onto my head.
That is not a pleasant smell.
No. But at first I was, I had no idea.
Right. Like, why is it suddenly water where I didn't expect water? Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Did I break a water line? Well, I mean, that's better than breaking a water line, but not by much. I'm going to be honest.
I'm not sure I agree that that's better than breaking a
So yeah, I have scared the piss out of a cat. I guess we can say that. So I went home to change and take a shower or
Yeah.
two.
Realgar
They,
sends thoughts and prayers for you, my friend.
they did get the cat out, in case anyone's curious. How they got it out is my brother actually used the fire extinguisher and made a hole in the ceiling and pulled it out. So yeah, it wasn't just me that couldn't get him all the way to the opening, but it's what makes me an animal tolerator and not an animal lover. It's the second animal that's attacked me at that dance studio. So I don't
I'm
know.
not sure it's as much of an attack as it was being slapped in the face by iguana, but it's still traumatizing.
It's true.
That
I guess the iguana was at my house technically, but they were still both dance studio related.
Yeah,
So
yuck,
um,
dude, that's awful.
yeah, Joellen says I'm not alone. She's had several dogs that would submissive pee when scared. Well,
Yeah.
just make sure they're not standing above you when you scare them. Just a
I've had
suggestion.
several dogs who are like really
Good idea, Gary. Next time I'll send in the iguana.
friends' dogs who are like very connected to me. So when I would come over, they get so excited that they would pee. But that's not the same smell as cat pee. Cat pee is like its
Spungent.
own specific evil. Ingle. What? Its own specific evil. There we go.
Hmm.
Cat piss is demonic. What? What's wrong with my my brain and my mouth are not connecting well at the moment?
Yeah.
Was the dance studio cursed? I don't know because the iguana.
Attacked me at my house. I mean, it was dance studio related, though. You know.
Yeah, true. Joellen
Um,
says the current one thinks he's a camel in peace forever. My dog thinks she's a camel, and anytime she finds water somewhere, she tries to drink all of it, even if it's a puddle. Oh, like she won't stop. She's gonna have giardia like every 3 months of her life. I swear to God.
poor dog.
Anyway,
Poor dog. What is the
poor
what is
dog.
the yeah, so I did get some love for the monkey.
A
Anyone
lot
else
of love for the monkey. Yeah,
anyone else in the tainted want to throw up the best Lego animal? I know the other thing we
there's
talked
two of
about.
them. We had Smog, and we had the classic green
A
dragon,
couple of them here.
husky, the squirrel. Gary said the squirrel, the new squirrel is the best, and I do think that new squirrel piece is beautiful. And and not even like connecting it to the squirrel death story from earlier. Just repeat to
Yeah.
yourself, there for comfort. I asked for that.
These were
I
the
did
these
that
were
to myself,
the
Monica Berry.
these were the animals that we were talking about in that new Arctic lineup.
The goat. We got to vote for the goat.
Of course we did.
Crystal Whitaker likes Bambi. Is there an actual Bambi piece, like a Disney Bambi
I
mold?
think there is. I think there is.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. I must start looking.
Let's circle this one.
There's some set news we didn't get to last week. The Alpine Lodge and the Piranha Plant.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
We will.
But here's some of these ones that we saw, these new ones.
The seal is so cute. Oh my God, I love the seal.
What about the bear cubs?
Bear cub, oh my goodness.
How
I
cute
like
is
it.
the bear cub?
It's really
A
cute.
hammerhead shark.
Yep. We talked about that one on here.
Yep. I like this sea turtle as well,
Bambi.
and he's got a baby.
The seal turtle. The sea
she-
turtle is awesome. Yes.
Little one. So I don't know. They've got a lot of ones that are coming up now that are fun.
Yeah.
None of them quite have the personality
As the monkey.
as the monkey, but
Well,
there are lots of good ones coming out.
they're not articulated. I'm a little annoyed that I
Yeah.
haven't gotten a giraffe yet. Again, it's the price per piece thing that's kind of stopping me from doing it. Monica Berry says, yes, Bambi and Dumbo came with the film projector. Oh, so I am
it's
looking
a new set.
at it.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to open that one too. Then we'll take a look because I have not paid too much attention to that because I was just like, nah. Where's open link in new tab? Come on, open link in new tab. Lego Team B says the new turtle, big and small. That's a great vote if that's your favorite animal. I
There
agree.
they are.
Super cute. So expensive to get them alone. I imagine she means Bumby and Dumbo. What's wrong with you guys? The dog that pees forever should be named Liberace.
Okay.
I love me some Jim Marin. Sometimes I miss his dad jokes. He will bury you in dad jokes
Ben, you've met your nemesis, Steel Turtle. We have a comment from Realgar that says Steel Turtle. I imagine there's an easy explanation. It's not immediately connecting synapses for me, but obviously my brain is not connecting to my mouth at the moment, so who knows? Orca is very cool. I do like that. Do you have the Orca, Ben?
I don't have that set. I have all of the other ones because, orange, but I don't have that one.
Jim Marin says he is the pianist. That's why you should call him Liberace. Gotcha. Thank you. Dad joke, Jim.
Gotcha.
Wilgar says Bumby and Dumbo. Yes, thank you. Bumby. But I used to watch Animaniacs, and Bumby is the Bambi character. So that may have been what happened, but also I may just be a little tired. Monica Berry says, we have the Friends Giraffe and Baby Zebra. Those are very special to us. I want both of those. So I agree with you that those are great votes as well. It's hard to pick one, Ben. It really is, especially if you're going to make me choose one. And I have like the Animal Crossing. Oh, I'm sorry, the Fabuland figure. Oh, look, I just did it to myself. I screwed the two up. But like I have the Fabuland figures, and probably there probably will be some Animal Crossing figures that I really like. And then the actual animals, and like, yeah, your argument for the monkey because it has such character to it. Wards or Horde. I agree. Wards or Horde. Realgar. The giraffe is awesome, and I've wanted to do like a Lego safari park, not a zoo, but a safari park for a long time. And I can't believe I haven't picked up some of these more exotic animals. I think the price per piece is really starting to irk me lately. Does Throg count? Awesome animal episode. I don't know who Throg is, but I'm sure it does. Do you know what Throg is, Ben?
No.
Jesse, explain us. There's an episode of something that has a Throg in it. Maybe it's part of the Dreams line.
I don't know. I remember the warg from like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Maybe Throg is some sort of animal from like a Marvel movie that Jesse's a big fan of. I don't know.
I have I have a magic computer in my pocket.
Throg Thor.
Yeah,
Marvel.
Oh, was that an alternate universe episode?
Throg.
Loki episode 5 cameo confirms the best Thor 4 leak. Don't confuse us, you guys. It's from Loki season 1. Was it?
It's
I watched some of that. I don't remember it.
Hold on, I got it here. Hold on.
Okay,
I'm going to share my screen.
I'm confused.
Share screen, and I'm going to share.
Telling us that's what it is.
This one right here.
You got to turn off your. There you go.
There he is.
Wow. For reasons. I love Realgar.
Are you trying to tell me how to use the live stream again?
No, not at all.
There he is. Thor Frog. Throg.
So it is an actual Lego piece.
Yeah, look how cute he is too with his little Thor hammer and his Thor outfit.
That of course it counts. That's a great vote. What on earth did that even come in?
Yeah. I completely
screen time. That's probably why I don't remember. Thank you, Monica Berry. I feel better.
I'm glad that
Hermit crab. I love the hermit crab.
Oh, the hermit crab in the collectible series. He is super cute.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Another good one.
Yep, Thor Frog came in a CMF. How did I miss that? Is it in one of the current ones? Because I don't have the entire series from the current one. Came in the first Marvel CMF line. Okay, thank you, Monica Berry.
I probably have it then somewhere.
Marvel. Yeah, I mean, you could have just checked your Bricklink page to see exactly what it came in because you just click on the thing like this.
Yeah, it appears in one set. I know. It was Loki. Marvel Studios Series 1 Loki with his little
oh yeah, dang,
cup there.
I missed that character altogether, or that figure. ACOB. Hey, what's that one? ACOB. I've been missing being able to hang out on ACOB stream. Did I miss the wall-to-wall coverage of Animal Crossing already? Yes, it was the first 47 minutes of the stream.
Yeah.
It's thorough. It's pretty damn thorough, and they are confirming for you. Y'all can post your opinion to him. Let him know if it's worth going back and watching for 47 minutes. I think it is. I felt a little scattered because I was like, oh, there's this, and then there's this thread, and there's this thread. And then we talked about my dog being part of a squirrel murder today, and that was a little depressing.
And then we talked about me getting attacked by an iguana and a cat. So it's been a busy day.
I mean, the iguana was definitely attack. I would say the cat was more of a an instinct. Like I feel like you kind of triggered the cat.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not partially responsible for that one. But
so Lego Team B says it's worth it, and thank you. But I would say if you banged if you banged the wall behind me with a fire extinguisher, I might spontaneously pee.
You might tinkle too.
Yeah, I might tinkle too. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The newly hatched sea turtle at Friends 41697. Great vote there. Ben has it on his table there. I like that as well. I like calling it the newly hatched sea turtle. That makes me happy.
That set, I got a whole bunch of that set when we were building the Oasis, because they had the razor leaves in a couple different colors, and it's actually a different turtle than the ones I have here.
Yeah.
Here's the guys here. There are two of them. You can see there's a
they do have
lighter and a darker colored one.
Yeah, the green and the lime, right?
Super cute.
The razor leaves, you call them, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what they're actually called. It's
I call them like fern. The fern leaf.
Fern leaf.
That's what I call them.
Well, let's see what Lego calls them.
It's a giant fern.
Sword leaf.
Sword leaf, really?
Sword leaf.
Well.
Yes, and it came in two colors. It had both blue and the regular green and then the lime.
So anyone who's missing, like, we have a couple people who obviously missed the Animal Crossing coverage, so we can take a look at like the result of where Animal Crossing has brought me and inspired me to build for my own Fabuland line. Ben, you've seen this before?
I've seen most of this before, indeed.
Making some changes, but I haven't made the major one you want to the front of this, which is making that center arch a little higher.
Yep.
Haven't gone there yet. I started putting things together this week, and one of the things that I started doing this week in order to do the Brickworld Crossing videos was I pulled this back out, and then as I was downloading videos, making new videos, getting back on the Switch, which I hadn't been on for like 9 months or so, I finally burnt out on Animal Crossing and stopped playing it for quite a while. Oh no! Actually, it was over a year. It was over a year I didn't play Animal Crossing, but I picked it back up, started making new videos, started exploring the island, and kind of watching some of the YouTube streams I've been watching lately to kind of catch up on what the Animal Crossing news is. Kind of re-inspired me to do better design with my island than I did the first time around, and it was kind of like saw it in a different way, but also made me see this in a different way. And so as I've talked about before, one of the things that annoys me about this is all the symmetry. One thing I want to hit real quick before we talk about symmetry is Realgar said that the Animal Crossing bunny has better bunny features than the Fabuland bunny. And I just want to argue that because I think that's pretty bunny-like there. She has the elongated snout. She's got the bunny ears. I mean, look, bunny ears. And let me just argue real quick, and this is part of my problem. This is one of the reasons why Animal Crossing was originally my creative nemesis, is because their animals are basically, I thought a lot of the characters were ugly. I mean, look at the bunny. Look at the bunny right over there, second from the left.
Yeah. I mean, they're far more 2D.
Yeah,
that's true.
Bunny's an oval with two popsicles sticking out of her head. And the Fabuland bunny, are you going to focus for me? Probably not. The Fabuland bunny, nice try.
Stick your hand behind her.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, nice. The Fabuland bunny has a lot more detail. Oh, look at the hair.
Yeah, now it's all fuzzy again. What happened?
Oh, did it?
It was good, and then it went not good. There we go, right there.
Look at the hairline there.
Oh, yeah, nice.
The HARE line. He's got whiskers, got buck teeth, got rabbit ears. The hairline even extends all the way to the back.
It's got eyelashes.
She's beautiful.
And Realgar does say that didn't say better.
What did you say? Because
I'm trying to argue. I think it was
I'm trying to argue
that the bunny had some distinct personality, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's yeah. I mean, definitely. That's one thing I say. Animal Crossing is look at the hair.
Yes, that was
Thank you.
literally the joke you were making.
um, that's one thing I will say about Animal Crossing is like putting the different personalities on all of the characters does give a little bit more depth to things, but like also gives like that's somewhat two-dimensional. As I said, one of the female personalities is literally normal. Normal. Thanks. Thanks for the depth of character of giving us a normal personality. None of the boys have a boring personality type. It's jock, lazy, cranky, and smug. And then the female characters are peppy. I can't think of what's the bitchy one. Sorry, that's all I can think of. It's peppy, sisterly,
Bossy.
It's not bossy. It's like snooty,
Snooty. Okay.
snooty, and normal. Thanks, female empowerment of Animal Crossing archetypes. How are the comments going here? I'm not able to.
No, they're good. It's just Lego Team B says the better Fig Fabuland versus Animal Crossing discussion is better than an ACOB OT Star Wars is better debate.
You know, I love me some ACOB, but the some of the when I watch some of it, I realize that I'm a different generation now than some of the panelists that they have on ACOB. Or like we've got all these prequel trilogy lovers on there, and I'm like, I can't be part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Well, you know what a better way to do this would be? Let me bring the camera up.
Yeah, you know, I'm not even sure. Real Gar says let's not go there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I agree too, actually.
People are entitled to their opinions, and I love the personalities on ACOB, but sometimes it's just like, I don't want to get involved in this conversation. When every once in a while, I'll throw in the comment that I think The Last Jedi is the third best Star Wars movie ever, behind Empire Strikes Back and Rogue One. And it's like The Last Jedi is not a popular opinion for a good movie, but I think it's one of the best. But they just like the opinion. The makeup of the opinions on that stream aren't. I would have to be live arguing with them. I don't want to feel like I'm flaming them in the chat. You know what I mean?
It's true, and you know. Well, Sean says he's not an OT defender.
He's not at all. No, Sean is definitely not. But Sean is more my generation, so he experienced it in the same order that I did. So like watching some of these like younger guys be like, oh, the prequel trilogy is amazing because this. I'm like the prequel trilogy is objectively not amazing.
Prequel trilogy. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, put it out there, and then we'll walk away from it. As unimportant, I will say, as the Phantom Menace was, I absolutely truly hate Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
I have not rewatched it. My hatred for it grows the more I think about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would love more than for that movie to have never existed. The only thing worse than that one is Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, that thing's so terrible.
Thank you. There is nothing worse in the Star Wars universe than the Rise of Skywalker, because it may as well been like a toy commercial. It's such fan service. We're looking at a Fabuland layout and talking about Rise of Skywalker.
We can't help ourselves. This is what happened. This is what you started.
So I've been kind of like filling this out. So one of the things
bringing these brickheads in here
annoys me about symmetry is that it's easy. It's too easy, and like how I love proportions. And one of the great things about proportions is it shows you a compelling way to do asymmetry. And some of the real life buildings I like a lot are ones that are that really nail the sort of beautiful asymmetry that's possible in architecture and function of architectural design. And so I want these to be more asymmetrical. But what I've created here, and I'm sorry, I have some dead trees back here. I was throwing things around trying to get this together. This hasn't been together since Brickworld Chicago, which it wasn't really together in the first place there.
Aw.
Trying
Wah, wah, wah.
I was trying to and it hasn't started happening on this actual model yet. I feel like I need to change my tripod height altogether in order to kind of show where the vineyard and the pools are. But you know what? For now, I'm just going to move this. I went ahead with my old design, despite the fact that you wanted something that either matched the back or didn't look quite so organic. And so on the right side, I updated the trail to kind of give more, to make it lighter, so it didn't necessarily look like there were trees growing, that the vineyard was trees growing out of the ground, and an actual like trellis instead. I don't know that I've necessarily succeeded, but I stuck to it just because of like some of the text I sent you when I was in Italy. Like, look, this trellis is literally made of trees. Like, it's a
Yeah.
thing that happens. What do you think?
I think it looks, now that you have more than one complete,
Yes.
and that I can more easily see the archway. I don't know if you cut back anything or what it was.
I did. Because you said that in one of the streams, that when I pushed these aside, you're like, oh, now that I see the arch,
Yeah.
all the leaves away from the arches.
Yeah, I think they look more like a wooden trellis now than they did when I first viewed them.
Hooray.
I think the bottom square part of the pillar helps as well.
Okay.
Good. So yeah, I don't get an overly tree vibe. I think this works for me.
Good, thank you. Can you tell the difference between the trail, like the pathway on the right and the pathway on the left?
Yes. I can.
Look at this. Sean says Last Jedi is trash, otherwise Mark and I vibe. I thought I misread it. I thought he said we were going to vibe over the fact that Last Jedi is the best movie. Quite a misreading in the thumbnail.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess Sean and Mark and I don't agree on that one. I actually really like Last Jedi too, but you know,
they were like taking expectations and like turning it in a different direction, which is the same thing they did with Empire Strikes Back. And I was hoping they were going to move away from like just like the generic formula of a Star Wars movie, but they proved me very wrong.
Well, I thought there was a lot of things that people hated about that I loved. They're like, oh, Luke shouldn't be jaded. I'm like, why shouldn't he be jaded?
He's exactly.
And I'm like, he was like not a perfect Jedi candidate from the start. He had much anger in him. You know, something really traumatic and terrible happened. He didn't reach perfect enlightenment. Why would anyone think that?
Right.
But then people complained about that.
Yeah.
They also complained about Rose a lot. I thought she was fine.
I really like Rose. Yep.
She wasn't the worst thing that Star Wars ever had.
I love the fact that Rey was not from an existing family, that she was raised by smugglers who were addicts, and like they sold her. Like she was not special. She wasn't connected to any of the families we knew. But no, she's also.
They had to retcon that. Well, and I also like that they killed off Snoke, because they're like, oh, we don't need big generic bad guy to all of a sudden make Ben Solo redeemable, a la Darth Vader. Exactly. They're like, oh no, he killed Snoke. Now he's gonna actually be the main baddie.
Well, there was enough internal conflict in Kylo Ren and Rey that they could choose dark or light without being manipulated into it by outside forces. It was all internal, which I really liked as well.
And I'm sure they're going to do a lot of retcon work and fixing and other things and all these other series that are coming out to explain how the Emperor didn't just magically pop back up in Episode 9. But the fact that they went there just drove me absolutely bananas.
Damn, I can't believe we haven't had this conversation before, and unfortunately we're having it live. Which we don't need to talk about Familyland Orchard all night.
I actually thought it was I actually thought Last Jedi was really good. I would have to say, if I had to pick my favorite Star Wars movie right now, it would probably be Rogue One.
I agree. It's between that and Empire for me.
Empire's got a lot of good. It also, parts of it feel unfinished. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know it's supposed to be a cliffhanger and all that, but there's also some parts in that one that like emotionally don't click with me the same way that Rogue One does.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, So Fabuland Orchard, I also like that you have the benches down now.
Yes, thank you.
Are those an existing piece, or are they? Yeah, they look like they're a Fabuland
They
piece. Is
are a
that
Fabuland piece. I can show them to
true?
you. Go through some of these, if you don't mind, please. I get very demanding on this sometimes. I do apologize for barking at you. As I rewatch some of these, I'm like, man, I can be a jerk sometimes. I can't just blame it on being extroverted. I got to watch myself. Like I said earlier, I have to have more grace. But if you could kind of go through that Star Wars discussion, because they've been having a deep discussion there in the chat. So this piece is pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
also rather weak. So I mean, if you look at this, the legs, like this is literally built to fit between studs. That's how it
Okay.
goes into all the sets. And this is super thin. I've broken so many of these over the years. I mean, just if you
Wah.
accidentally leave one out and step on it, it's toast. But it's a cool piece. It's very Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of Star Wars discussion, but I think
was.
Lego Team B at the end decided that we should probably get back on track and was like, animals. Yeah. I mean, I suppose we could spend our time talking about porks. They're animals.
I would say I actually like the porgs too. The one thing I thought should be cut, that should have hit the editing room floor in The Last Jedi, was the frog people. And
The frog caretaker ladies.
Yes, the scene that did hit the editing room floor is the one thing that brought it full circle. Hey,
When Luke is having dinner with them or whatever and explaining sort of their purpose and existence.
no, it's where he manipulates Rey into believing that they're being attacked when they're just having a celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Which is he says he's going to teach her 3 lessons, and that was the 3rd lesson. So if you watch the movie, he's like, "I got 3 lessons for you." He only teaches her 2. The 3rd one was anyway. So
yeah.
So again, I know I asked you this already. I don't know if you told me. Do you see the difference between the path on the right and the path?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Is this homework? I can tell you. So you on the right, you use the little circles.
Yes.
In addition to the big ones.
Yes.
I think the one on the right is only about 98,000 times better than the one on the left.
Oh, really? Okay, you can tell it that much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of them looks more like a path. The other one, it's probably because it's just hard to vary circles of the same size.
Yes.
On those. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it looks kind of less like a path, and I don't know. It just doesn't look organic, I guess.
Yeah.
The one on the right's much better.
So this is going to take me a bit to show what I'm thinking, and maybe I can just do it this way. Hold on. So the big place where I want to change the symmetry is I want to give it more room to breathe. So before we hit that cherry tree orchard in the back, I think there should be more space in between here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I put so much work into this staircase.
Yeah.
And as you said when you saw it, you're like, is it something special? It looks like a bunch of stacked bricks, and there's a lot of technique involved in that stupid staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes directly back. And as much as I'm trying to make this like, here's an island, or like not an island, but a waterfall and like a lagoon, a harbor that this city is trying to like work into their infrastructure, so that it's like it goes into the garden, and then it's like, we talked about adding not a viaduct, but what is we talked about
culvert.
The culvert.
Yeah.
Adding the culvert from the pool to the orchard. Nobody would cut a staircase that deep into a hill, especially if there's waterfalls and lagoons and pools around it. So I'm like, I want to take that out, and I want to, because one of the things that I wanted from Animal Crossing in the orchard that I made is to make a curved staircase to make it look more organic going up the edge of the orchard. And then when I had the opportunity here, I made it go straight back, which is not what I wanted in real brick either. So I think what I want to do is break up that symmetry and back, and make a 90-degree staircase where it goes up like 9 steps, and then it turns to the right for another 7 steps.
kind of bring that out a little bit more. So it's like they built the wall, they built the staircase. Underneath the staircase is kind of a storage place for the groundskeeper instead of making all these like these windows that have the arches. Are you bored? Did you
No.
okay.
I did yawn. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got self-conscious about it.
Dude, no one can see me. It was fine.
Okay.
I do say while you're working on this here,
Yeah.
when you did have the staircase pushed right up against the back wall there,
Yeah.
it does completely disappear. You can't tell that that's a staircase at all
I know.
from this perspective.
And
Having it pushed out, I think, also maybe breaking up the texture on the inside walls on either staircase. I can't tell what that looks like from here either.
and it's not a great design. The inside texture on those walls is not anything to write home about. So,
okay.
And that's one of the things about Florence is like everything's built into like hillsides because it's just like everything just like kind of goes down to the river. So there's really no straight staircases into any of these like none of the properties out there, none of the vineyards have staircases that are like just go up here. It's like they're built into a hillside to be part of the topography, not part of like what's the easiest for Mark to build a straight staircase going back. I also added this railing here because part of the thing is like one of the things that's nice about Animal Crossing is like because there's limited tools, it's giving me repetition. So using the same fence over and over again actually kind of helps because it's giving you repetition. Even if it's not symmetrical, it's giving you something that's familiar and kind of filling in that area with kind of like you have part of like almost a limited palette for a painting. But I was like, it does match that back wall. So I put the railing up here to be part of the orchard, but also then it leaves a blank space here. But it's not like there can't be something straight above the curb, even if it's a repeat of this behind it. Just kind of like working with that. And I think it works well with the wall thoughts.
I actually really like it.
Okay, yay.
I don't have a problem with that at all, especially because with the way it's structured now, you're going up to a new height. This retaining wall is here, but it's the perfect spot where you would want a railing. Because at least the way it's designed now, you can walk all the way up to that railing. You don't want the poor partially blind rhinoceros to walk his way off that if he doesn't have his little teak bird or whatever they call him to help guide him.
Nope.
So
doesn't have it on him right now anyway.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And I've lost the parts that I used to make these topiaries, but that would be there basically. So it's still like kind of ties everything together. It's still kind of like we talked about making the trellis stone. So being worried that it'd be like too matchy, but I don't mind some matchiness because it's the same property. We're trying to make this the edge of an orchard house. And so one of the things I did is I was trying to make like I keep calling it a chapel, but it wouldn't be a chapel. It'd be like some sort of terrace that was kind of like part of the orchard. And so I started building it, but I quickly ran out of the parts that I need. But it would be like around here, and then would connect directly to the orchard house over here.
Okay.
You can't really see what's going on with it quite yet. It's almost like what you wanted me to do with the trellises. And it's limited success at this point.
Okay, well.
But it doesn't look as sci-fi as the last ones that I attempted.
Yeah, and it's not quite Art Deco either, right?
Well, thank you, because I wasn't sure. I never know.
No, I think this is not quite the same. I think this is its own thing.
I sent Ben a text this week that was a screen cap of my notification that told me that was like Art Deco and other boards that you've inspired. Because I have no boards on Pinterest that are named Art Deco, but people have made Art Deco boards on Pinterest based on pins that I've made. And I was like, okay. So Monica, Barry, and Ben, I mean, it's not really I don't know,
But you guys are right. My stuff gets very Art Deco. Now this is very complicated behind, so I ran out of time to like really do the entire thing all the way around. But I'm excited about what I see it being, because like if it's back here, the staircase would lead up to it first before you go into the orchard. And so I'm kind of liking just even that right now as I'm looking on the screen. That's the type of asymmetry I'm looking for. And yeah, I guess I killed the conversation. Yep, that.
No, I think that that works. It's a different vibe. I think it makes sense to have the bottom sections more matched if we're kind of doing this center cut staircase. I guess from here, if you are planning to put the orchard house on the right and you wanted to break up the texture of the stairs, I'd also have the stairs creep to the right.
Yes, they're going to. Well, they might. We'll see what happens. That's
Right.
what the plan is.
That's what would make sense. I would also be tempted to put a similar railing of some variety at the edge of the stairs on the top here, so you don't accidentally walk off that ledge and fall down into the stairwell.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which would be unpleasant, I guess.
I mean, especially for their for the orchard's liability alone.
Yeah.
That turned out really. Hold on, let me try at least straighten this out. So this is the first time I think we brought on the live stream the cherry trees coming together. Hold on, actually, these are screwing with it.
Oh, hey. Yeah, it does kind of give you a slight heart shape. Not quite heart though, since it doesn't really curve in at the bottom, but it does have that nice archway type effect, but it's not symmetrical, so I think it works pretty well.
I call it a heart shape just because it looked more right and left ventricle to me than I imagined it would, but I just kind of want it to look like a hollow.
Yeah.
But I do think that like I need to be okay with it being deeper to get that depth of kind of like a cherry tree tunnel that I really see in my brain. Having stones of different sizes more natural. Yes, that's what I'm
for the path.
So kind of like on the path and on the wall as well. Like I really want to even on the new section that I've been making, I kind of did like the 1x1 and the 2x2 tiles to make that stone, but I wouldn't mind if they weren't quite so matched up. If there was a little bit more of like 1x1s and thrown in there to kind of offset the pattern to make it more like if the dark gray stones on the bottom are very offset. So I wouldn't mind if the entire thing had offset stone patterns.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it this way. Kind of feels like part of it's carved stone and part of it's stacked stone.
Nice. All right, I like that. Great.
It doesn't bother me. It's kind of interesting. Kind of like they stacked it all together and then carved part of it down.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like this. I like the color palette. This is my type of shades. Hopefully you're going to do some color, a little different touch on this orchard house when you get to it
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working on, because like I think that's what I showed last week was when I was showing the studio files. That's why the orchard house had like the gray base, and I was trying to throw the pink and the turquoise into it so that something changes and we don't have an entire village that's all light and dark blay.
I mean, light and dark blay are beautiful colors, but they need a little pop.
Yes.
If you're making a spaceship, it needs to be orange and dark orange. If you're making a orchard, you got to throw some pink in there,
100%.
Yeah. And Monica says not Art Deco, but it's more castle-y this time.
Ooh, thank you. I appreciate that a lot, because I love Art Deco. I just accidentally build it all the time. And so when I come up to a point where I can actually use Art Deco, like I had the opportunity this year for Brickworld's program artwork, I had to Google. Well, actually, I searched on Pinterest Art Deco skyscrapers, because like suddenly my mind went blank. I'm like, I finally get to build Art Deco, and I don't know exactly what to do.
It's probably why it's feeding you that now.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So sometimes I'm convinced that my
Mm.
computer doesn't know me at all. But I've really grown accustomed to anytime I search for something that I don't want to get fed,
Mhm.
going into private mode. Because one time on Pinterest, my kids were having a debate about what color one of the Descendants' hair colors were. And
Okay.
so I looked up, this Descendants is this Disney movie. I looked up one of the girls, Dove Cameron or something, to see what color her hair was in this movie.
Yeah.
And then Pinterest was feeding me, teenage Disney girls for like 4 months straight. I couldn't get rid of them. Like, here's a board we might think you like. They're like nerd culture, Lego, Dove Cameron. I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. But I
So
couldn't. It's like I couldn't get rid of it. It was impossible.
on the boring side of that, I've had several conversations with like friends of mine or like people at the dog park even where like I'm not looking these things up. We're literally just talking about them and then I get the ads on my phone.
Then
So
it
that's
pops up.
creepy. That's
Yeah,
very Big Brother.
very.
Um Monica Berry pointed out last week when we did the outro that I was misusing the word necromancy. And she was absolutely correct and I knew that. And I was like, what does it mean? So I googled it. And like the world of nerd like
Yeah. You Google
fantasy
that
stuff
without.
and like oh I got all this sort of like comic book and like
Mhm.
IGN stuff, like all these video games, like all the ads all week were like you Googled necromancy. And I'm
You
like,
must wanna. You must wanna know what a necromancer looks like. Here's a wizard that raises people from the dead.
so
Yep.
I wanted to look up the word of what I meant, but I was like, I learned the lesson. I don't want a bunch of ads for like muscle death
Yeah.
or whatever that condition is actually called. And I was like, fine, someday the word will come to me, but I will not Google it because I don't need that stuff.
I've made some mistakes while googling things in places that I shouldn't have.
Oh, dear Lord, you know I have.
Yeah.
You
So
don't need to go in the stories.
one time, we're already down the road. One time I was making up a presentation for work where I was putting in fake names for people because you don't want to use real customer information in a spreadsheet. So I
Okay.
was putting in fake names and I got on cartoon characters. And so I'd put in a number of fake names. I
Yeah.
eventually put in Woody Woodpecker. I didn't Google Woody Woodpecker though. That
Great.
may have been disastrous. I instead Googled Chili Willy. That produced a picture of a very small penis
Oh no, no.
as like the top result. I was like,
What's funny is I didn't expect that.
me,
Yeah.
me neither. Obviously, I just wanted the adorable little
No, of
penguin
course not. Yeah,
for the spreadsheet,
Chili Willy is adorable.
but
And
like
I
the
mean the
first picture,
cartoon.
and it
Just
didn't.
to be clear.
It got through Safe Search, and it was just this tiny penis on my screen. I'm like,
Yeah, because you may have been doing medical research,
I
right? 'Cause
guess I don't
why
know.
did we look for a tiny flaccid that? Sorry. So Realgar, like we have some Art Deco love here, and Realgar nailed it. I think the best Art Deco building in the world is the Chrysler Building. They
Chrysler
talk that
Building.
building. Do you not agree?
Oh, I think that's fine. It's very
Oh,
Art
okay.
Deco-y. Nice
Yep.
kind of fan shape.
Is there
It's
a building called the Gaslight Building?
in
That sounds
Milwaukee.
it sounds like trauma to me. I have my internet's ready to go to share screens to talk about Lego products, but I will look that up. It sounds like a something that the other buildings need to talk to their therapist about.
Yeah, no, there is a building called the
Interesting.
Wisconsin Gas Building or the Wisconsin Gas Building or the Gaslight Building.
Gaslight. That's the word that threw me off.
The Wisconsin Gas Building. Here it is. Let's do the old share screen.
So Ben, I don't know if you've had this experience yet. I'm sure you've had it with other things, but like Monica Berry says that she let her kid have Pinterest, and now hers is full of all these memes and their interests. Because
This,
they're
this is
that's
the Gaslight Building.
Gaslight Building.
And you see Z's spouse would also like to clarify my Chili Willy story. That was on my work desktop computer. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It was a desktop at the time. I have a laptop now, but still, I was like, huh,
Like, yeah.
that
And
just showed up.
Chili Willy. Like,
Mhm.
why would you even think you needed to? Yeah, I love that cartoon when I was a kid.
I have chosen poorly. Thank you, Gary.
I love me
Yes,
some.
I did.
What is that? It's a bunny and a carp?
Hole?
I don't know. It's too
No.
small. Hold on, you guys.
know.
I need this nowadays. What just fell? It's a bunny and a carp. I can't tell what the other. I mean, it looks like a ring.
I don't know what it is.
Bunny ring.
Oh, I know what it is.
What is?
Pause. The second thing is definitely a hole. The first thing is a
Rabbit hole.
rabbit.
I'm
Yes, there you
there.
go. You got it.
Yeah. Well, we do that a lot. All right, and you on your work computer. It's basically Central Park West from Ghostbusters.
That's the gaslight
That's the
building.
ring? I
I
don't know.
guess so.
Is
I don't
it?
know. Should we put it back up?
Basically, I don't. Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Central Park West is a lot taller.
Yeah, it's kind of got that vibe though. I kind of get it.
I do as well. And Realgar knows his Ghostbusters. Yeah, thank you. We got there before we saw the comment. Thank you. We interpreted the puzzle. We solved it. All right.
We don't get off topic here because we have no topics. The only topics for today were animal, 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 animal. And we already covered all that. So now we can talk about whatever we want to. And Chili Willy, a cartoon animal. So we were totally on topic.
That's right. So let's talk about this animal.
Is it an animal?
We elected to talk about it last week.
Well, it is the piranha plant, and a piranha is an animal.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yep. Whoops. I don't know how to do this here.
I got it.
Do that one. I'm pretty excited about this. I think the design is exciting. What's this? It's hard to see the scale exactly.
Well, so if you look at the lips on the piranha plant,
they're the tube.
They're the same tube that's used as the sort of border on Bowser's shell.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely not going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be much bigger than a piranha plant would be compared to the Lego Mario figure. He might be sort of in scale with Bowser though, but it's hard to know. Because I envision Bowser just being so much more large than Mario, but obviously the build your own Bowser guy is, quite a bit bigger.
What piece is this that lets those connect to each other? Is that just like are these just 2x2 rounds tiles with the hole?
You have to circle it on the screen you're sharing, not on the live stream.
But I literally am.
I can't see your screen.
There we go. That's why. Wait, no. Now you can see it, right? I clicked on it. I don't see. This is the problem. Is I am on Firefox.
Maybe everyone else can see it. I just can't. I'm just too.
But I can't either because I'm looking at the StreamYard screen and circling it on the Piranha Plant Lego screen. It's so the bottom lip in the very center.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Huh. What is that piece? I wonder. My first thought. No, that wouldn't work either. I don't know.
2x2 round tile with a hole in the center.
Except it doesn't have the anti-stud gaps.
Oh, but yeah, and look, it's as wide as one brick. Look at the sorry, I'm pointing. Look at the brick below it. It's just the curved, the brick width slope 1x3x3.
Except there's two of them. Is it two of them, or is it one with like a line of some sort down the middle?
So it's a Technic piece then. It's a Technic lift arm because that's the.
But it's round.
Right. Hold on. Let's see if we can see it from another angle. Nope, they don't like to give us other angles. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, at least you can be a redhead with a denim jacket and play with this.
Yeah.
What's going on? There's coins inside?
Yeah, you can drop coins in apparently, and then open it up and drop them out the bottom. I don't know. It's kind of a weird feature, but it looks like it has a nifty little release you can push to open it up.
It's a bank. You can put dimes in it.
Well, the only thing you can put in there are the
Look
the
at that.
Lego.
What is that?
Aha!
It's the freaking the cam.
It's the cam. It's the cam in white. It's a pair of white cams.
Well, that makes sense.
We solved it.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Now that you can see that it's not just round, you can tell it's the cam piece.
Thank you, redheaded lady wearing the denim jacket, for showing us how this is built.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
is that where you'd put your piranha plant on the shelf? Like
I put it on like an orange wall.
Yeah, well, the green wall with the green in the back just doesn't do it for me.
No, not at all. It has to be like, I mean, you might even want to put it on like a blue background because it's usually sitting against the sky in the Mario games, right?
Or that kind of brownish orange brick.
Or that. So this is giving me like a little bit of like internal hope that we'll get some UCS builds for Animal Crossing. Sorry. Because this is way out of scale for the rest of the stuff. So hopefully they'll find the same rabid fan base. What's wrong with the wall? What is
the weird patchiness?
Yes, I'm pointing to it again.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like, it's like a really bad mud job.
Can you see? I saw the mouse for a second. It is a bad mud job, or they painted over some sort of brick wall or fake brick wall texture.
So I'd also like to point out based on last week's discussion, 540 pieces, $60. So it's not crazy price to parts ratio.
So Sean says it's 9 inches tall, and he comments that it's not like there's minifigs to toss in there. However, I mean,
sure
you
there
can
is.
throw in any. Well, he means Mario minifigures because they don't make Mario minifigures. That's why a lot of people are excited about the Animal Crossing minifigures, because it's the first Nintendo minifigures that have been produced by Lego. Because they just have those fat, chunky QR code figures.
For Mario and Peach.
Joellen says, or it's a backdrop in the studio. Right, but would you? But even if it's that, is this how you would display it in your house? Because that's all I would do with it too. You can't like play with it, right?
Well, I don't know. Redhead girl seems to be trying.
Well,
I mean, she's feeding it coins and making it open its mouth, and maybe she's going all like treating it like Little Shop of Horror, Seymour, like, feed me, you know.
Let's be clear here. The coins drop out of the taint.
Yeah. Oh boy, we're getting an actually here, Mark.
Oh no!
Plants come and it wasn't in various scales. Yeah, we're getting it from Realgar. Or Realgar. I don't know. I think earlier Realgar told us how to say this thing.
I asked him. I don't remember hearing an answer because it's Fast and Furious here.
But the piranha plant comes in a variety of sizes. But the big pipe means that possibly this would be in Giant World or something. So who knows?
So is the pipe bigger proportionally, or is the pipe bigger compared to the scale? Are there other piranha plants in other Mario sets? Realgar. That's what I thought. So it's Realgar.
Realgar.
I had said that a couple times, but I thought I was being pretentious by being pronouncy. It's not P week anymore, but I like my P words, apparently. Monica Berry says, gotta bring it full circle. Yes, we try. And we actually succeed unintentionally a lot. That's one thing I've learned in rewatching the live streams, Ben, is like we bring things full circle without even knowing that we've done it.
Yeah, well, people just don't understand, Mark, how much time I spend getting ready for this live stream.
Yeah.
It seems like chaos, but it's all organized.
I know, right? I was so glad you got on early today, since you couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear you. And then we had the entire, like, you were just a circle. And I'm like, why is your internet lagging? You're like, it's not. Well, we didn't even have that conversation. I just knew it was mine. I love the comments so much.
We do here. Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yep.
Ta-da! There we have a piranha plant.
Oh, okay.
In this one, in the retired product, the Guarded Fortress set. Let's see if we can find some other ones too. I'll switch back over
I'm
to
gonna
you.
be relatively dumb and say, like, do we know, since this is on its own as a piranha plant, do we know that it's meant to be part of the gameplay with the QR codes? Obviously, it poops coins, so maybe are there 2x2 coins in other sets? Like, I'm so confused about what I'm seeing.
Were they 2x2 or were they that newer 3x3 size?
I don't know.
Take a look at the coin. I don't see any stud notches cut out of them. I don't think the 3x3 one has stud notches.
Sir, you're looking right at it. You tell me. Joel and Child says it's not part of the rest of the theme with gameplay involved. Thank you. That's what I was wondering. And she answered, thank you so much. Sad about retired sets that I haven't picked up yet. Yeah, Realgar, we all feel the same way. Even with the Mario ones, I'm like, wow, that happened quick. But this has probably been around for like 3 years, right?
Yeah, here's another one. Retired product. Yeah.
Okay.
Couple of piranha plants there.
I can see why Realgar would think that it's a different scale, so it's a different part of the game. But according to Joellen, it's not part of that gameplay with the rest of the QR codes. Piranha Plant.
I think it's this one.
Side.
Another expansion set.
Oh, the name of that set.
There it is.
Give me a much different picture in my head.
Got some of the green railroad track or the green roller coaster track with the brown box on it.
Mm-hmm.
Also another retired product. So it seems like you can get piranha plants, but only from retired sets. I don't know that there are any current ones.
Let's hit the meat of this. I think the piranha plant is a really good design. And I would easily get that and put it up against my forest green wall and then paint that wall so that it would pop better. But I think it's an amazing design, and I'm excited that they're doing things like that, not just for like the potential for Animal Crossing, but just like for their set designs in general.
Here's another one that's still out.
Sorry.
Not yet out, not yet retired, available and on sale with a piranha plant on it.
Not yet out. Not yet retired.
It is out, 20% off. Not yet retired, piranha plant. So there we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, and look at that. Like, how can you ever accept that as a piranha plant when you've seen like the UCS version they did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because the Nintendo games are so three-dimensional, it's kind of jarring to watch this, especially after living in the Animal Crossing world. So one of the things that drives me nuts about the Animal Crossing trees is when you look at them from above, because there's a bunch of different camera angles you can do in doing screen caps on the Switch, and then looking at like the Mario Kart Animal Crossing track, they're very deep trees. But if you look at like the Animal Crossing real estate, trees take up 1x3 squares. So when you look at them from the top, they're very narrow. But when you look at them in the Mario Kart course, like the Animal Crossing course, they're like they're like 3x3 tiles. And so that's one of the reasons where I was like, if they're going to build this out of a construction toy, that they would go for more for the 3x3 version of it, but they clearly haven't. And that those trees are super basic. And I understand like the look of the game is like it's a very basic tree. I just wish they would have given us a little bit more depth and a little bit more foliage pieces to get those things going. However, we don't know if that wasn't just part of like the preview video that they made, or if that's what the products are actually going to look like. I would be surprised if it wasn't the actual product. But and I don't know what my voice is doing, why it's so raspy at the moment, but that's where it's going when I say things like that. Yeah, I don't like some of the, like, looking back at some of these sets, some of the I raise your hand in the tainted if you're a big fan of the Mario sets, and if you actually played the QR code game. Because I don't know it was never appealing to me, basically. I would have bought like the Bowser pirate ship, the Luigi's Mansion set because of the construction and the parts available. But like the gameplay, so Realgar plays it. Um, Quit changing your name. No, I'm kidding. Change your name as much as you want. We will adapt. Do you like it, Realgar? And what is it you like about it? So it's like you're in an interview. So Joellen's family has, and they also like to play the hidden side games. So is it fun? Like this is my question. Like, did they develop a good gameplay? Gary, did your kids like it? Like, did they still play it, or was it just like part of like the process of like putting it all together and like building the sets? Did you build the sets for them and then they played the game? Like, that's kind of like because I think Lego has like kind of a negative history with working its way into in-person, like real tangible games. Not their digital games are awesome. So waiting to hear back from them. In the meantime, let's talk about the Alpine Lodge.
Yeah. Let's do
Beautiful.
it.
I like
Okay.
it. I like this a lot.
Okay, let me say this. I like the fact that it's using that texture to get a log cabiny like look.
Yeah, it's better than anything else we've seen.
Yeah, no question, and it's using that like the half loaf bread piece. Absolutely adore that. What I don't like is how it looks very two-dimensional and that it is not deep at all.
No. I think a lot of people have the problem with the Winter Village sets for that very reason.
Well, they didn't start out that way though. Some of the first ones were much thicker. They seem to be getting skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and just becoming like just the front of the building now.
I would
Just the
say they did.
facade, you know?
I would say they did and did not. So it's at least it's not like a Lord of the Rings set where it's just like an idea of an idea. But I
Mhm.
will so we got some responses on the Mario games real quick. So Realgar says you can change your name every 2 weeks. So all right. So well you change it to whatever you want to 2 weeks from now. Not like I thought we can control you, but I'm looking forward to see what else you come up with because we're gonna have a lot of inside jokes from this, which I'm looking forward to. Monica Berry says that her son was a fan for a while. So she's played with the interactive stuff. Not personally a big fan, but happy about some of the parts that are now my own. Yes, exactly. So it's like there are some games that like kids will play for a long time and like be able to replay. But Monica was like, get over your appreciation of this game so I can get these pieces in my collection. Good to know. Realgar says Super Mario built a few of the sets and built a course for a reel if you want to check it out. Yeah, of course I'd check it out. Do I follow you on Instagram? I don't know. Someone else manages it. Feel free to drop that reel link in the chat. We will all definitely check it out. At least I will. I can't speak for everybody, but like I feel like everyone's pretty tight here. Joel and Child says it was good from the standpoint that the course could be changed however you wanted. However, once you spent the time to change it, it only took a minute to play. Then you need to change it again. Okay. That I thought they played through these things before they started marketing them, but perhaps I'm wrong. Gary Conley says they liked it. My son built them, and then they're all still separate from all our other Lego. Oh, okay, interesting. They keep them separate so they don't mix them together. The kids are fickle and don't stick with anything for super long. I stuck with quite a lot of games when I was a kid, and I did the same thing with keeping them separate. But they stayed separate for years. But like I was also kind of like a little bit. Let's just call me obsessive for like certain things. Like I kept my Duplo separate from my Lego for like from the system, which isn't surprising. But like I kept like there was a certain drawer for my original Fabuland figs that I got from my first like 5 sets, and then like whatever. Who knows? Kids are different now than they were when I was a kid. It's been 41 years since I was a kid. Jolene says, "Don't get me started on the smaller depth Winter Village sets." No, that is what we were talking about because I would say they were never all that deep, Ben.
Well, some of them are quite a bit, or at least they give a better illusion. I think kind of the difference is, um, here, let's share my screen here. So look at some of these older ones. Look at this one. This one is actually fairly recent, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the gingerbread house, right? Far deeper. And then there were a couple that, there were some that had stands, for example, as opposed to actual buildings. But here's one of the very first ones, the toy shop, right? It's not that it's super deep, but it doesn't just look like a facade. But here's the one from last year. This is clearly, much narrower. And it kind of gives me that vibe though, and maybe this is what they were going for eventually, of sort of those, ornament type structures where it is really, really shallow like this.
Yeah.
And so I think they think it fits that theme and they're satisfied with it. Maybe also lets them build more variety while keeping the part count and price about the same as prior years. But I guess it feels like it's a bit of a change to me. I mean, this one's probably similar in depth to this new one, but it doesn't feel as skinny for some reason. I mean, I think this Main Street one's probably the most egregious, I guess, in terms of being really thin.
Yeah, it's thin, but I would say like the gingerbread house with the family in it that you brought up, I don't think it's that deep. I think it has different like shaped roofs that make it feel like it's deeper, but like I think they've always been relatively shallow. And I mean, the Main Street one from last year was definitely a joke. It was like 6 studs deep. But I mean,
I mean, you can see here. I mean, it's I don't know, 8, 10, 12 studs deep.
Right. Which isn't that different, I don't think, from like the winter holiday home. I don't think that one was that deep.
The gingerbread one was super adorable. Let's just
very much
reminisce for a second. Absolutely stellar. And I'll tell you this, I've bought in the Winter Village ones, mostly for parts packs. I usually build them and then take them apart.
Same.
I got the Holiday Main Street. I haven't even put it together.
Same.
Like it didn't intrigue me because it was so scrawny. But
I like the trolley. I like the design of the facades actually. I like the design of the facades.
Well, but even so, neither of us built it, so I don't know what that says.
Well, I don't build sets, so it's like I buy the Winter Village sets for my mom, and then we build them at like Thanksgiving. Like we each like take a step and pass it around the table. It's like a family holiday tradition.
Oh, it's like Puff Puff Pass, but for Lego.
Correct, which is funny to hear you say. That is correct. Jolyn says, from a Winter Village collector's point of view, Santa's Workshop was awful, and last year's just didn't fit with the rest of the theme. I think, like, if they had made, in my opinion, I can see how it's definitely changing because Alpine Lodge isn't like holiday at all; it's just winter, right? So it's like last year's, it was almost like trying to make more of a centerpiece scene or like focus on the trolley, but it didn't focus on either. And then I think Santa's Workshop, is that what she said?
Yeah.
I liked the design of it. I liked the pieces. They gave us like the reindeer battle pack part of it. It was a good facade, like the facade of it. But yeah, it was like, I think that was like 6 studs deep, like the Main Street was from last year. This, I mean, if you're looking for something that's going to be like holiday celebration, this looks like a number of the friend sets that are just like skiing.
Yeah. Well, and they have, all the other ones have had a Christmas tree. They have a pine tree here.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily a Christmas tree. Is that a break as well? Is this the first time we haven't gotten an actual Christmas tree in one of the Winter Village sets?
To be fair, they have like mistletoe hanging from the sign. They have like the line of garland along the roof line.
Actually, it looks like the Winter Village train station did not have a Christmas tree either.
Not a surprise that Gary Conley just wanted the trolley.
Yeah, it sounds like Gary.
Realgar says, I posted a portion of the URL here, but I also tagged Mark in the Discord general text channel. All right. I will see if I can post it. Jolyn said, I would really like them to alternate between a Winter Village set and a Santa's Village set. That actually is not a bad idea at all. By the way, I just now noticed the hat on the guy loading the tree. That's a new mold? Or have you seen that before?
I think we did see that in a CMF set. It's
I
kind of
like
like the newspaper delivery boy hat
I
kind of
like it a
thing.
lot.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Uh,
keyboard's dead. Well, there we go.
It
That's
says also no street lamp and no cat. Well, there's a cat in this one. No street lamp though. Was that also Main Street that we're complaining about?
maybe. I
That one
like the
doesn't have
idea.
a cat. It does have like a clock. That kind of looks like a street lamp.
I like the idea that Jolin just floated that they would do like 1 year would be holiday, 1 year would be like Santa's village. That'd be nice. I can get on board with that easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember the random street lights in several of the early sets. They'd always use a slightly different and interesting construction, and they seem to have gotten away from that to some extent.
So there's the full link there, Realgar. We'll check that out. Jolin says most of the Winter Village sets had a street. Oh wait, you already did that. I was looking
Right.
for. Wait, I saw something. Monica
Monica
Berry
Berry says
confirmed it's the Newsies,
CMF. Yeah,
and then she said, "Is that a cat?"
I think it's a cat. Looks like a cat.
Yeah, very much so.
I don't know what else it would be.
Clearly, right by the Newsie.
Looks similar to the one that peed on my head.
Does it? Was he a gray or she?
No, I was just making a joke, but thanks for ruining it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So what I don't like about this is the random like winter portion here in the bottom left corner. I'm circling it with my mouse on my browser, but you can't see it.
The kid playing hockey and building the snowman.
Yes, and there's a dock, and there's like, yeah. So the snowman is too small to be a snowman, and like I don't know what's happening in the shelf thing back here.
I
The
don't
pine
either.
tree is like I'll take those fern pieces for sure, but also the chimney. The chimney of
Yeah.
the building.
It doesn't go above the roof.
It doesn't go far enough above the roof, but it's also chunky as hell.
It is.
Considering
It
how
is.
deep the building is not. The chimney is like, it's like an afterthought almost. But there is a gray squirrel for Gary.
And a cat and a cute little, is it a red bird up there on the lodge sign of some variety?
It is. Why?
I don't know. It's cute, but
yeah, but why has it not flown south for the winter? I wonder.
I don't know. Maybe it's part of a sign question mark. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was asking basically. But what is the name of the Two Pines Inn? There we go.
Okay.
This is the Two Pines Inn. Is it like a Back to the Future reference?
The Two Pines Mall, or
yep, or Lone Pine Mall?
It was Twin Pines, and then later became Lone Pine.
Yep.
He knocks one of the trees over.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that they put an outhouse here. That's
yeah,
me
cute. Too.
I like that it's got the moon sticker on the door.
Yes. So let's just check that out real quick. Where is it? Oh, yep. So one question I have is like, who sleeps in this attic? well, like it looks like a major fire hazard.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm not sleeping there with the candle right next to the ceiling like that.
And next to the garland, obviously
be careful.
Or there's some growth on the wall. Maybe that's mold.
It could be.
All right, so we were also talking. Well, I like real quick before we get to the next product, I like the curtains, like they're Christmas curtains. Oh, and here's the Christmas tree.
Suggest maybe that thing outside is a cuckoo clock.
Why?
The red bird is a recolor, yeah, from the bluebird. I think that was in one of the other ones.
Yeah, the Disney ones.
And we're getting confirmation it was the Twin Pines Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Gary says that bedroom up in the attic is not up to code. I agree, Gary.
Not at all. So we have a Christmas tree on the inside. So
We do have a Christmas tree, so there is one.
So I don't know why they're having another one delivered, but this apparently there's a lot of cats. They're in every picture.
Well, it's the Twin Pines Mall, or the Twin Pines Lodge, or Two Pines Lodge. What the hell was this thing called?
So Gary, what is he holding? What is this?
It's a pen. He's
What?
writing in the guest book.
Yeah. Have you seen this mold before?
The pen mold?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, it's giant. It's the size of your torso.
Yeah, it's a friend's piece, I believe.
Well, it's
really
all
where it
plastic,
started.
Monica Berry. Everything's plastic. It's all.
Thank you, Monica. Maybe she just means it's a fake one in general. I don't know.
Cardinal is the winter. Wait, cardinals in winter are a very common image during the holiday season. Yeah, but fine.
True.
What
It's
is
true.
it on though?
I don't know. It
Oh.
looks like some sort of perch. Is it a birdhouse? It's a birdhouse.
It is a birdhouse. It's like a bird feeder.
It's a birdhouse attached to the building.
Thank you, Joellen, for asking us to like slow down and calm down for a moment.
Now this image here doesn't make the building look as super skinny as the first images.
Right.
And well, maybe the problem is because the fireplace is so freaking chunky, it looks like just a little tiny bit of wall and then a bunch of fireplace.
Well, not only the chunk from the fireplace or from the from the fireplace, but like this technique takes a couple brick depths to achieve, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like just like a regular brick wall like we've seen in most.
It's got a lot of stud out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of snot.
It gives you the illusion that it's like one stud bigger on the inside than it actually is.
Yeah. I suppose.
So let's look at this. We're looking for Bumby and Dambo.
Bumby and Dambo, there they are.
Oh, and look, it's Walt.
Yep, Walt and Mickey and Minnie.
With his pen.
He's got the pen too, yeah.
I've never seen this mold before tonight.
Now you've seen it twice.
Dumbo is cute.
He is cute.
That is an investment in molds, considering that it's like just for the 50th anniversary. So Bambi's coming out next year, live action Bambi. So maybe they'll have another reason to use Bambi again. What about Dumbo? How often are we going to see this mold used ever again?
Yeah, probably not again, but it's hard to say.
Does anyone know, is this like more than one piece or is it just one mold? Because it's probably made like the CMF line in China where they're doing the like multiple injection molds.
Well, yeah, and it's 3 pieces plus a stamp. That pen, so since you asked about it, only comes in 4 sets in that particular colorway.
Okay.
And it is the Alpine Lodge, the Walt Disney Tribute Camera, the Disney 100-year celebration, and then the Botanical Garden, which brought you into the Blockleverse.
I do have that, actually.
So I those are
in my house.
The 4 places you can find it. Plus, it appears as an extra in each, so you can get a pair of them.
Interesting.
It does come in a couple other colors, though. There's also a dark purple. Yeah, and here's the magenta tip.
Yeah, I like that.
There's also it in this bluish purple color. Ooh, 23 sets. You can get this one a lot.
Wow.
This one's popular.
Yeah.
Look at all those. Tons of sets with the light aqua one.
Yeah, a ton of them. Yeah, so that's where I end on the stuff I had to share in my extra window. So how are we doing on the run of show?
Let me see. Let me check the run of show. Let's see what we talked about and what we haven't talked about. Did we
Monica-
talk about animals?
Yeah, I think we did. Monica Berry says that it is in a ton of friend sets, which we just basically confirmed as well. So Monica is right as always.
At least in that aqua color. The magenta one, I think it was a little more sparse. The
Okay.
magenta one is only the magenta and light bright orange is only in 4 sets as well. They
Okay.
are all friend sets though.
Yeah. Not a
So,
surprise.
so let's see. Next thing we can talk about. Well, next show is next week. However, tell me about Fort Wayne.
I'll be in Fort Wayne. So I probably will not be around.
Genius.
Do you want me to help you find the co-host, or do you have someone in mind?
Yeah, find me somebody.
What are you
Let's-
working on?
Let's bring a new guest.
What's the next thing that you want to work on to show on
I
the
will get back to probably Mechopolis.
mech?
Though I might start a castle project soon. My favorite thing right now to do when I was doing September,
Yeah.
since I was working every Friday on this, I would turn on the Friday Night Bricks show, Reed and Jesse's stream, and I would troll Reed about how much I hated Castle every time I was out there.
Yeah.
I will apparently be on my own that evening.
Meaning on the live stream, or
no, I think that means that I will probably
you're
have 2
watching
kids and no wife is probably what it means.
oh no.
So
Don't they have
that's
something
okay.
like Rover?
That's okay.
The Rover app.
They can find something to do.
Yeah. Just not on the Wi-Fi.
I bet it's fine now that I upgraded my internet. You're the one with the bad internet now.
I know, right? Which
So
is weird.
Flex on you.
Why are you whispering it?
I don't know.
I know. Well, I'm connected, so I don't know why. Like with the whole like it's all over the place because we didn't have like the idea that we would need that. But I've done what I needed to do in order to like take care of that problem, but apparently it hasn't.
I don't know what to tell you. She says they've been on the Wi-Fi all night. Look at that.
Yeah, look. Yeah, nicely done. Oh, now you castle. We castle quite a bit.
I castle all the time.
Now you join us, Gary. Now you join us.
Yeah, Jesse. So Jesse and Kevin just sit there and let me tell Reed that I hate Castle. They don't say a thing to him. Kevin especially, like, we were in the guilds together. But they just like, I don't know if they just like that I'm trolling Reed or what, but it's a lot of fun. So
hey, real quick before we end this, if you are still with us and a fan of Animal Crossing, I think you will enjoy this person. Oh, stop screen. There we go. I do this every time where I'm like, I'm gonna do this real fast. Like I know how to do this, but there's like 2 minutes of me going like, okay, this. All right, follow this person. Her name is Cat Savvy. You can follow her by going to YouTube at Cat Savvy, KATSAVVIE. It's at Cat Savvy. She needs a lot more subscribers than this. So a lot of Animal Crossing fans, they're used to going to like YouTube to like tour dream islands. She's more fun than most dream islands I've gone to. Let me try to open up one of them and then quickly mute it so we don't like mess with our audio. I have, oh yeah, there we go. I've looked at a lot of these and like there are very, very, very few I would recommend, but I'm very quickly on top of recommending her. Ben, like you and I, she's a new influencer. She's a new content creator. Look at her celebrating that she just hit 200 subscribers. We're
not far beyond that. She's now actually at 400. But if you like Animal Crossing and you like looking at Dream Island tours, I would recommend her over anybody else because she has a creative spirit and she like just basically goes in and celebrates what she's seeing and is very excited about it. And it's just, to me, it's infectious. So I don't know if it's, she's going to connect with everybody here who is an Animal Crossing fan, but she connects with me for sure. And I would say give her a shot if you're into Animal Crossing and if you're into touring Dream Islands, like very much so a place to go to enhance your Animal Crossing experience if you're part of the Animal Crossing community. That's all I have to say. Want to shout her out because I really had some fun watching her videos this week.
She definitely seems like she's better at video production than we are.
Yeah. Who is not? No offense to you.
No, none taken. I didn't go to school for this.
Right. And I went to school for over 10 years ago, so like we didn't have school for this.
Random question. The video you sent me.
Which one?
About the ranch.
Oh my God. Can we bring that up right now? All right, hold on. Let me get there.
That is in the category of animals.
Yes. I'm getting there. And then I think we should do a special episode from Lubbock, Texas, or I'm sorry, Waco, Texas, which I don't necessarily want to go to because it has its own like stigma to it. But I think we should make an exception. Let me get over there real quick. I hate Instagram sometimes. I like Instagram a lot, but sometimes it kind of drives me nuts on how the interface works to just be able to show a video. Come here. Ugh. All right, you talk about something while I figure out how to show this. Sorry.
Yeah, so we want to go to a particular ranch called the Blue Hills Ranch.
Yes.
Near Waco, Texas.
Yes.
It seems like it might be a little bit of fun, and admittedly, maybe a little bit, a little bit. I don't know. I would feel tense, I think, but it might be super fun too. Joe Ellen's asking, "What's wrong with Waco? I used to live near there." Well, of course.
Hi.
The Branch Davidians, is that what they were?
David Koresh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah. So Real Guy says yes. Well, there was that one thing. Yes. So that is what's wrong with Waco. I couldn't tell you where Waco is on a map. Texas is a big state. They say everything's bigger in Texas, including that crazy Buc-ee's gas station. Have you ever seen the Buc-ee's gas station? Yeah. So yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. So I don't know where Waco is. So we're gonna find out.
All right.
Here we go. Looking on the map, Waco appears to be south of Dallas and Fort Worth, kind of halfway-ish between Dallas and Austin. All right, let's play the video.
Okay.
This is what you can do
outside of
Blue Hills Ranch.
Out of context, this seems a little odd for me to just be like, look at this. Make sure I have the sound up. I do. Here we go.
Bad, more fun, and hotter. But I mean, where could you ever do that?
Tiny. You can come to Blue Hills Ranch.
I know. That's what I was trying to tell them. They can come here and do it.
Near Waco, Texas, and take a bath with otters.
Put a little handful of ice.
Where they love to eat ice chips right out of your hand.
It helps if you look where you're grabbing.
And of course,
delicious.
Fresh fish. After this,
hi, baby.
Bath time will never be the same.
You know what would make a bath?
Okay. I'm dead. I need to go here. Like, and they make the same sound that Orion makes.
every day. Like she has like 27 more sounds than that. Right now she's asleep, but she would also enjoy it. And by the way, what I found was their rates. So remember I texted you and I was like, I don't know what
Mhm.
the rates are, but I imagine it's like $300 for like 5 minutes or something like that. I said,
Yeah.
well, their rates are at hourly rates
Ooh. You get a full hour with an otter.
and not as bad as I thought. And I think we'd have some fun. I think we should go to Waco, Texas. We should probably call the book to see like when the time is where they have like so what worries me about this, by the way, is zoos that like have animal experiences, like they try to like keep their crop like alive and young or whatever, and they like tend to be like, if you've watched Tiger
Damn.
King,
Hmm.
yeah. So I'm like, I want to make sure first that we're not like perpetuating this sort of thing. However, if we can make sure that we're not doing that, then I would be 100% on board with like doing. We probably can't live stream from there because it would be hard to like get anything besides just like being in the bath for an hour. But we can take some video, hopefully, because obviously he was. But I love the beginning of this video because he's like trying to just be like, "Hey, what's more fun than taking a bath? Taking a bath with an otter." But the otter is crawling all over his face.
Yeah.
Realgar says, "Otter King coming soon to Netflix."
Real guy also
That was-
says, changing the conversation about Waco one otter at a time.
I like that.
Forget those Branch Davidians.
Yeah,
The otters is what it's all about. The otters is where it's at.
the Branch Fabulandians are coming.
Do they have an otter in Fabuland?
No,
Do they have an otter in Animal Crossing?
yes, two.
Mm.
We talked about it earlier. I'm very disappointed you don't remember.
I remember there were owl brothers and a pair
No,
of.
there's owl siblings,
Okay.
brother and sister, but
Okay.
the
Owl Blathers. Blathers.
yes, exactly. Yes, very good. Actually,
Mhm.
yes, his name is Blathers. His sister's name is Celeste, and then the otters are Pascal and Dottie. Pascal is awesome. Hey, I can pull up a Pascal video real quick.
Rachel says someone's going to ask her, "Where's your husband this weekend?" And she's going to have to respond, "Oh, he's bathing with otters in Texas."
Rachel, why do you think you're not invited?
Yeah, you can come bathe with the otters
Yeah.
too.
I mean, come on. Like, so they'll be texting you, "Where are you this weekend?" And you'll be like, "I'm bathing with otters in Waco, Texas."
Hmm. And Gary throws out the dad joke: "Otter take a bath in Waco." Did the Branch Davidians have otters? No, they didn't. You're right.
No, it's Texas.
They must not have. Armadillos, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Or
definitely not otters.
Nikes and Kool-Aid. No, they were not the Nikes. Sorry.
They weren't the Kool-Aid either.
I'm mixing up my cult.
That was Jim Jones, Jonestown. That was
Yes, it was.
Jonestown.
Thank you for knowing that.
Yep. My dad actually was in the Air Force when Jonestown occurred, and he worked at Dover, Delaware, which is the morgue location for anyone who dies out of country who's a U.S. citizen. So they brought the bodies back to his Air Force base. He was not the one who was checking their teeth for dental records, but he was running the clinic. He was a dentist in the Air Force when they brought those people back. So pretty terrifying stuff. So anyway, cults.
Wow.
Cults on the show today.
Well,
Not nearly as fun as otters.
Well, as much as I was like, what?
How fun we've ended on cults. Hey, we had some Star Wars today. We had some cults. And we had lots of animals. It was an animal heavy day.
Let me show you something. And let me see if I can figure out how to do it. No, that like our parents' generation, like going through like literal world wars. Like my dad was in Vietnam.
Like that perspective, like will always kind of like irk me a bit. Like I did not mean to not respond. I was just like, what? Like the experience sharing, I appreciate a lot. Let me see what I have here. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm getting close enough to. Yep, there we go. Why is this not coming up? Sorry, you guys. Um, hey Ben, talk about stuff while I find this video because I want you to
Oh,
see this. Oh wait, I got it. Never mind. Never mind. Ignore me.
stuff,
Don't talk
stuff,
about nothing.
stuff,
No, no,
stuff.
no, no.
Oh, there's the otter. You're swimming with an otter. Consider
What do you mean?
yourself
What?
truth.
Oh yeah, he says that every day.
Pascal, the otter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to see the house I made for him?
Would I? Absolutely.
So this.
I'm not even sure what else I'm here for at this point.
Sorry. This this is more for like anybody who knows what I'm talking about, but like hopefully everyone who tunes into our live stream knows my appreciation for otters. So Ben, the Animal Crossing game New Horizons came out in March of 2020. Where were you during March of 2020?
Where was I? March of 2020.
Yeah.
I was locked in my house.
Yeah.
It was COVID.
Well,
I
where were
was.
you in the first week of March of 2020? Let's separate because
I,
I had a difference.
I think in the first week of March 2020,
Yeah.
I was in Florida. With my kids' spring break.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
And then how quickly did life change after you got back?
Well, I came back. When I left, we were talking about how this COVID thing was
Might
sort of
be a
ramping
thing.
up, but that it sounded like people
Right.
were only getting sick and dying about as much as like the common flu. And so, maybe it wouldn't be that big a deal. I signed off of work to my
Mhm.
work people in the office, of course, and went to Florida, came back. They were shutting stuff down on the way back.
Mhm.
They started closing. We started hearing about cases at the University of Nebraska hospital and all these other things. It wasn't just in Florida anymore. Now it was not in the West Coast anymore. Now it was starting to hit other parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
Not just the coast, but now in the Midwest as well. Got back. I didn't go back into the office for like 2 years after that.
Yeah.
It was very different. I ended up remodeling my house because it was such a chore to work from home with my kids here,
Right.
being stuck in the basement
Yeah.
day in and day out. Now I choose to be stuck down here to do Lego, but
Right.
I needed some sunlight while I was working.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I was. Z spouse confirms. You were in Florida, dummy. Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Sanibel Island. We're down by Sanibel.
Well, I definitely had a response to exactly where I was in the beginning of March of that year, but I forgot by the time because it's
Was
in
in Florida?
no, but that is interesting to me that you were in a different state
Yep.
because I had different things like, oh, that maybe that was my point. I don't know for sure at this point. But like I was getting ready for Brickworld Indianapolis, and then out of nowhere, like the rug was pulled out from underneath me. So, I did okay, and you helped me through that first year where I was like, all right, I cannot control a global pandemic, but I did just turn my entire life over to investing in a public event business. So let's keep making something happen. I did not imagine by any stretch of the imagination that I'd be like making a major profit off of the virtual shows. But I thought like maybe we'll keep like at the best, we would make some sort of like minor profit. But at the very least, and this is from a like business owner perspective, at the very least, we would keep the Brick World community going. But like after what did we do?
There was,
5
there was several.
virtual shows? There were many. There were too many, but like I didn't know what else to do. So we got through that first year from March of 2020 to 2021. I know I played this video for you guys tonight already, where I said I was like, well, in 2021, it was the same story. Like the world was still locked down, or at least the US. And I was going through the exact same motions of like scheduling shows and like not having income or not being able to open ticket sales because you couldn't open ticket sales unless you knew you're going to be able to like produce a show. And then I was like, well, I'm done. And so this is part of what I did. And this came later, but like yeah, like mostly for me, it was like the big thing going from one to the other was it was just a shock to the system. And like we could do whatever we could to get through 2020, but I think 2021 was the harder part because we were like, oh, you cannot expect your life to be normal when a global pandemic starts. But when you get into the second year of it, you're like, this is still happening. And it's been a year. Where did my life go? So let's take a look at this otter's house from Animal Crossing.
The Otter's house. Here we go.
Pascal's house. But this is kind of where I ended up in the long run, was like, well, hey, I have a fantasy world where I'm thriving. I just built a house for an otter. I feel okay now. Anyway, here it is. What is that? Okay, so when when it freezes, it means that I was like in the game and taking pictures of like the house I had just made for him. So I mean, honestly, that's my conclusion on the entire pandemic was like, look, this was like a highlight for me of my life at the time. I was like, hey, I got to build a house for Pascal.
Yeah, well, it's an accomplishment.
Well,
I had the same itch. I built an addition on my house. You built a house for Pascal. I mean,
right. Well, like, but I get your point. Like, it was not an accomplishment, but at the time, it was like that's where my life was, and I was like, yes, I achieved something huge.
You definitely knew the music to that one. You were right on
Well,
directing.
Well, seriously, it made me feel better about life when I did that. Like it's kind of like I love it, but it is slightly like cringe inducing to watch it back because it meant so much to me. I was so excited that day that I got to build Pascal a home. And I was like, the back wall is going to be open and the ocean's going to be out there. And I'm going to put like an ocean floor in the house so that he's like, he can jump in the ocean whenever he wants. And I thought it was so smart. Like,
Creative's
guys,
gotta create, man. Even when you have limited capacity, you
but
know.
it's, well, I will say this
Hey,
because
and
it's
let me say this. If you didn't feel like you could pick up and enjoy one hobby, you went to another one with similar foundations. I think you were
oh,
really
100%.
thinking outside the blocks, my friend.
Yeah, as a mental defense. However, I will say this for anybody who like is watching this that like enjoys Lego for like building what they produce or like enjoys Animal Crossing for like just being part of the game. It's like you need what you need at the time that you need it. Like so I will say like one of the big things that like surprised me about being part like making Animal Crossing a part of my life, it was like this is not the way I would normally go, but it meant something to me at the time. And I mean, I will always just have to look back and say that is okay.
Hey, it happened to you. It was part of your life,
Yeah.
part of your story, part of hopefully the new success of Brick World coming out of the
Hope.
pandemic, right?
Hope. Yeah.
Seems like coming out of the pandemic, there's a renewed excitement that hopefully we
Mhm.
can keep going, and hopefully this live stream can encourage some more people too. Same thing.
I hope so. Hey,
Did you
look.
see that? That was
Yeah.
a thumbs up. Do that. That was
I don't
cool. You gave it
know.
a thumbs up and a doot, doot, doot. There we go.
Whoa. Apparently it has to be like turn back to here. If I do two of them, can we figure out
Oh, hey.
I don't know how those
We need to find out the balloons though.
I don't know either. Like that was weird. Like that was very surprising.
Man, how do we end up going 3 hours?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think perhaps we just enjoy spending time together.
It could
And
be. I
then,
told
like,
you I had a hot tub delivered this week. It's not wired yet. But if you came to my house, I could get an otter in a hot tub without having to go to Texas.
right.
So
Plus, one of my favorite things is hot tubs. So you might never get me out of that room, and you'd be like,
it's
Mark's in
outside.
town,
Yeah.
but we don't know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we'll do that.
That's fine. That's okay. We can record something that day too. We can find a think outside the blocks activity for my hot tub for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right. This
We
is normally
should
what we talk about
100% do that.
after the stream, not during the stream. So let's
Yeah, not like people will invite themselves to it and it'll be super awkward. But no, we definitely should get together like throughout the year because I feel like I see you all the time because I do, but like seeing each other in person and actually like having fun and like making plans together and like
it's different.
we
It's the
waited.
same but different. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm. All right.
Well, what do you think of this stream, Mark? Was it good or did we make some mistakes? Because I'll have you remember there are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
That's what I thought.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What's our outro going to be today?
Play that BAM one again, please.
The
Thank you.
BAM one again. Here we go, everybody. So here's our outro. Remember to think of Bricks and Minifigs and some of their events. As you'll see here, a little tragedy occurring in their store right before Brick World Grand Rapids. So here we go.
Hey, Brickworld family. A couple of weeks ago, we had our first Brickworld show in Grand Rapids. We would like to thank everyone involved in the show for making it a great success, but we'd specifically like to thank one of our signature sponsors, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids. Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids had a signature sponsor booth at the entrance to the event hall and did an amazing job greeting all of our guests with positive energy. If you're in the Grand Rapids area and didn't know you had a local Bricks and Minifigs store, I'd say go check them out, but unfortunately, it's not currently possible. In the early morning hours, just after midnight on the first day of Brickworld Grand Rapids, let's call it what it is, a kidnapper van, drove through the front window of their brick and mortar store. Look at that. Look, watch this. Okay, this is the moment before the kidnapper van hits their product. Then bam, no pun intended, product is okay, product is smashed. Store is okay, store is smashed. It's horrifying. Fortunately, it didn't happen during business hours, so there were no employees on the sales floor at the time. So, Brickworld community, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids can use our help. We've posted a link to a GoFundMe page in the description of this video. We've also posted their Instagram feed so you can follow them and check out some of their in-person and online events. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, they're planning some pop-up store events and even a LEGO fan community event with one of our other sponsors, Archival Brewing. I know the Brickworld community has a very giving nature, so if you are able, please help out our friends at Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids in their time of need. They're a new business, operating less than a year at this point, and I know they have the mindset to get through this. They still worked Brickworld Grand Rapids all weekend, despite the accident at their store, and they'll be back in business in no time, I'm sure. However, the more we can do for them together, the faster that will happen.
True.
Okay, we gotta get a video that fills the whole screen next time. But still,
Yeah, sorry. I was like, what do we do? I did not have time.
that's okay. Bye, everybody.
Good night.